Hey, you guys. Oh, and as soon as I come on, my creepy phone starts...
What is that?
I swear to God, I just turned the volume down, like, 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And it's back up again.
Yeah.
My fucking phone's haunted, dude.
You move the camera just a little bit, and your Spock is a little bit...
Yeah, I kind of rearranged in here a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, I got rearranged the whole studio. It's different now.
Yeah, you can't.
Good, though.
Yeah, you can't see so much because I moved like mostly like over there where my desk and stuff was, and I moved some of the bookshelves, and I got like a little couch, like not really a couch, but just like a kind of a little love seat type situation. But that hasn't come yet, so that's gonna go over there, and it's got like a little coffee table with it.
Yep, today is Friday.
It is.
And I got some new drinks here. I don't know what this is.
Okay, Danny Rolling says audio sounds fine. Okay. Yeah, I was worried about it earlier because when I was rearranging yesterday, obviously I had to unplug some stuff because I was moving it. And then I made a video earlier today, and when I listened to it back, it sounded really, like, not unlistenable, but it sounded weird. Like, it didn't sound as good as usual. So, hopefully... But I fucked with the settings, so it should be okay now.
It's pretty weird.
What is it?
Sparkling tequila. Blood orange sparkling tequila.
Ew.
It's kind of like, you know those sparkling waters?
Yeah.
Like that without any sugar?
Yeah.
That's what this is. With tequila in it.
So like LaCroix or
yeah, it's kind of like LaCroix with a little bit of tequila in it. It's not bad. It's just, it's not sweet.
You got him at Sam's yesterday? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did a big Sam's run yesterday.
Yeah. They're okay. They're okay. Only 100 calories. It's like diet. It's like diet tequila. I didn't realize that.
How much tequila is in there? Like, what's the percentage?
I can't see
of alcohol by volume.
Let me see.
I can't see it from
Probably
here.
weak.
So hey, everybody! Like everybody's here.
5% alcohol.
Oh, well, you're gonna have to drink like all fucking 12 of those to even get a buzz on.
Well, I'll just drink one and I'll go back and make a real drink. Just like a little refreshing thing, you know.
It's refreshing.
Yeah.
DJ Maniac says, I'm doing Thai food tonight. Coconut curry chicken soup and noodles with peanut sauce. Holy crap, that sounds delicious.
That, is there any way I can turn that light off?
What light?
That one over there. That one's...
Oh, the lamp?
Get me right in the eye.
Yeah, it's got a little, thingy on the thingy.
Good.
You
thingy
know.
on the thingy.
You know.
Okay.
I can't remember words.
There you go. I'm also going to turn my fan on.
Oh, he's got to turn the fan on. That's right.
All right.
Yeah, that Thai food actually really does sound good. We just had... I had totally forgotten that you made that chicken curry that you made. You said you made it... How long ago was that?
About a month ago.
It was like a month ago.
It's frozen, though.
I thought that there wasn't any left over, but he's like, oh, I found some, and he went to Sam's yesterday, so he's like, well, I needed some more room in the freezer, and we forgot this was in here, so we ate it for lunch today. Tasted just as fresh as it did when you made it. It was
they had
really,
some air
really
fryers, an air fryer / broiler thing on sale that stands for $99. I bought it. Either that or I could have bought another ice machine, but I said, nah, I'm good for ice machines right now.
Yeah, we don't need another ice machine. Air fryer, I've actually kind of been wanting to get one of those.
Trying to figure out how to work it.
Yeah, if any of y'all have an air fryer and you have any good ideas about it, you made French fries in it yesterday.
Yeah, it turned out okay.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It just took a lot longer to cook than I thought they would.
Yeah, so we had to eat the burgers first, and then
and it came with a little cookbook, and it said to boil those French fries first for 5 minutes, and then cover them with the... Man, that shit didn't work. They fell apart. Had to turn those fucking potatoes into mashed potatoes. So no, just fucking cover them with oil and fucking salt them and put them in there. It took a while. I had to mix them around. It was probably close to 60 minutes. So it wasn't time efficient.
Well, it's less messy and less fattening, I guess, than doing them deep fry.
That's probably the only thing.
Tila says air fryer chicken wings is awesome.
Tila's showing up.
Tila's showing
up. I bought 4 whole chickens. I haven't actually I froze them. I froze 2 of them. So I got 2 of them that are thawed. I might try to cook a whole chicken in there and see what that's like. Probably pretty good.
Yeah, I imagine that'd be pretty good.
We'll see what it's like.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Tila says, sparkling tequila, what flavor? Did you answer that? It's blood orange, right?
Blood orange.
It's blood orange.
It came in a 12-pack. Each one of them, I think there's 2 of the same kind. So 6 different flavors.
I thought they were all blood orange. All of them looked the same.
No, they're different. They're all the same color, but they all have different flavor written on them. No, that's not going to do the trick. Too weak.
Well, yeah, like nice. I said, you should have looked at this. Like I said, that might be kind of like, not LaCroix, but like, what's that other thing? White Claw that everybody was drinking?
Yeah, it's like, try it.
No, I don't like tequila. Cheryl says, I have 2 chickens in my freezer. Can't wait for barbecue weather.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it's already barbecue weather here. Right. It was 80 degrees today, Fahrenheit, so a little warm.
I just wanted to experiment with a thing that wasn't that expensive, so I'm just going to try it. I want to get one of those damn quick pots. Isn't that what they call it? Quick pot?
What, Instant Pot?
Instant Pot. It's like a pressure cooker and a slow cooker at the same time. I want to get one of those, too.
Honestly, pretty much everybody, because remember I've said the last couple times that I'm obsessed with those budget grocery challenges that like all these people do. You know, it's like I ate for a week on $10 from Dollar Tree or whatever, and pretty much all of them have Instant Pots. Well, because they're really good for making beans. Yeah. You know, making rice, because you can just kind of set it and forget it. Yeah. And it's like, you know, well, because it's like a pressure cooker, but not. Yeah. I guess it's like a lot safer.
This Indian woman that's a friend of the family, name's M.E., and she married a doctor over there in Sanford. He's from India too. She told me to get one of those things. She's got a bunch of Indian recipes. She sent me the YouTube channel that she cooks off of. And she said Indian food's fucking best out of those quick pots.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, anything that's just kind of like a one-pot meal that doesn't have to be constantly monitored.
Curries and lentils and you know, and all that stuff.
Lentils, that's another thing that a lot of people make in those. Because like I said, a lot of those videos that I watch, it's like tons of different people that do them, like the budget challenges. Pretty much all of them have an Instant Pot. And like I said, if you're doing budget challenges, they almost always have beans and rice or lentils. Yeah. And they'll make like the whole pot and then use it in like 4 or 5 different things, like over the course of the week. But yeah, it seems really. Have you guys seen? I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's as cool as it looks, but I saw an ad for it a while back. It's kind of expensive, I will say, but it's a thing. It's called a sous vide, and it's a kitchen robot, and it's about the size of like. Well, it's narrower than a microwave, but it's a little bit taller than a microwave, so it's small. There's like 2 zones. And you can basically make almost anything in that fucker. It even refrigerates the food until it's time to cook it. Like you set a timer on it, and it'll do 2 different zones, so you can cook like vegetables on one part and like meat on that. It'll cook it at different times. And you can either, it comes with like all of these recipe cards, and you just scan the QR code, and it automatically like sets it up for you, and you can like set the timer or whatever. So I think it's like $400, but it does like I said, pretty much everything. And then it has a thing that like a starch cooker that cooks like pasta and rice. And if you get those 2, I don't know how much that is, but if you get those 2 things together, it seems like you don't even really need an oven or a microwave or anything, because it does everything. Yeah. Which I was like, that's kind of cool. I don't know if it's as cool as it looks on the commercial, but
this one comes with like a little cast iron square pan that can go in there, and it's not totally cast iron. It's not cast iron, but it's trying to be cast iron. It's kind of like a thick metal. Yeah. And I was looking at that, and I was going like, that probably work for the pizza crust. If I put dough in there, I could probably make a pizza in that. But I don't know if because my stone works so well, you know. But I'm just kind of curious of what that would be like to cook a little pizza on that thing. But it's just an experiment, you know. It didn't cost that much. If that thing ain't worth a shit, we'll move it up here and put it in a break area or something.
Yeah, no, we can just cook shit up here with it.
As a toaster, like a toaster oven. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I was thinking about getting a toaster oven for up here anyway, and like a little microwave. Eventually, I don't. You know, I might not do it right now, but. Because I mean, we already have a coffee pot. Yeah.
Sound lazy as fuck, like not being able to go downstairs to get. But it is kind of when you have an office up here. I understand what she's doing. Sometimes going downstairs to do things like get ice cubes.
It's a pain in the ass.
Up and down the downstairs.
It's like, look, I just want a glass of water. Yeah, right. I don't want to have to go all the way downstairs.
We got so much room up here. We can just set up a fucking like a break room.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to put a bar up there in that living room.
This house has 5 fucking bedrooms. Yeah. And it has a little living room downstairs and a big, huge living room.
Although
thing
it's not
upstairs.
5 bedrooms, it's more like 3.
Well,
because the other rooms are very fucking small. Like, one of them is small. It's my gym.
Yeah, it's just got.
If you had to live in that room, that'd be like something for a kid.
Well, yeah, that's why they make some of the rooms are smaller.
Right.
But I mean, our bedroom is pretty big.
Pretty big, yeah.
I mean, this
room is pretty big.
This room, I didn't even realize. That's why I started like rearranging. Like I said, I don't think you can tell too much because I didn't move too much of the artwork in the back. But I did move like some of the bookshelves and things, and I made like kind of a cubicle because I was thinking to myself, this room is massive, really. And so I was like, well, shit, I'm going to make like a big cubicle here with my office because I used like the 2 big bookshelves over there to like block it off a little bit and make like a little path into the room. And I said, shit, I could put like a little sitting area over there, like a little couch and a little table. It's like I could sit over there and read.
Now that I bought this thing, I might change shit up because some of the shit does not make sense. That little room right there has a big fucking closet, and then my man cave, which is kind of like my room, is bigger than that, but it has a little closet. It doesn't make any sense. Really ought to knock a hole in this wall and put a door right there to make that room part of this room. There really shouldn't be a separate room there.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need it.
Don't need it. Well, it just should be a door right there.
Yeah.
You know, the layout's kind of weird. Which is one of the reasons why this house didn't sell instantly, you know. I'm just happy to have gotten it because this place is gonna fucking blow up. The whole fucking state is blowing up. You're lucky to be able to buy a house like this here in Florida right now. And if this house for $475,000 had a fucking badass layout, it would have sold a couple years ago. The reason why it didn't sell is because it had people in it at the time, renters in it. And the reason why it had renters in it because it wasn't snapped up early because the layout is kind of fucking crazy. I mean,
it is, but it's not that crazy. I mean, like I said, I've lived in tiny ass studio apartments and stuff most of my life, so I'm just kind of like fine with whatever because this is like easily
the downstairs.
This is easily the biggest house I've ever lived in by quite a large margin.
The downstairs living room is fucking crazy as shit. It looks like a fucking Tuscan fucking outside fucking bar. It's got fucking columns coming down.
That's what we should turn it into.
Yeah, that's what it should be. It looks like it should be a cafe down there, not a living room. It's just fucking crazy.
Well, like I said,
it used to be a little living room, little dining room, sit side by side, and then there's a big ass den, and then there's another bedroom downstairs is supposed to be the master bedroom, but it's not big. But it has a big bathroom and a big closet. It doesn't make sense. The proportions are all off. Now, and there were other houses like this in this neighborhood, just like it, that have a whole nother wing added onto it. And it probably made sense in other versions of this house. These things were put together out of a damn catalog.
Well, yeah, I mean, any neighborhood like this is. There's, X amount of floor plans.
Right.
And because if you walk around this neighborhood, there's other houses that look almost exactly like this one. Yeah. And I imagine the interior layout is very similar.
Yeah.
But
I'd be interested to know.
I'm not bothered. The downstairs is a little weird, but I get what they were doing. They're doing like a little bit in the front. It's like that's like your little bitty like formal living room that nobody sits in, and then there's like a formal dining room area that's like tile floor, and then when you go through to where the kitchen is, there's a little breakfast nook type thing, and then there's like a small living room that's like your casual living room where the kids sit on the couch and watch TV. And then there's a master bedroom down there if you want the master bedroom on the first floor, which some people do. But then the room that honestly, in this house, this room, I kind of feel like was meant to be the upstairs master because the bathroom is attached and there's a dressing room in between there.
Yeah, but
But when we first looked at the house, because I told him, I'm like, well, what bedroom do you want to use for the master? Because this one is the master because the bathroom is attached and it has like a big walk-in closet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In the dressing room. And he's like, well, I don't really want to use this one for the master because he liked the other bedroom on the other side because it had like a higher ceiling.
Yeah, and this one just, kind of like this low ceiling. The other one has a vaulted ceiling.
But it doesn't have a ceiling fan,
No, it doesn't have a ceiling fan, but it's bigger. The room's bigger. And
I don't know. It might be the same size.
No, it's bigger.
Because this room's pretty big.
It's bigger.
I measured it the other day when I was rearranging all this furniture to make sure shit was going to fit the way I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
This room is 15 feet long.
Yeah.
And 12 or 13 feet wide, and that's not including the dressing room and the bathroom over there.
This made more sense as an office.
That's true.
It just does, because you have like a little sink there, a dressing room, a walk-in dressing room, and then a bathroom that can be accessed on either side, and that's almost like a break room right there. This just makes more sense as an office than it does a bedroom.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I'm happy with either. Like I said, I'm not super picky. You know.
I'm sure people are bored with us talking about this house now. Let me go. I gotta make a real drink. This shit here tasted good, but it's weak.
Did you finish it already?
Oh, yeah.
Oracle says, which room is Pookie's favorite for scampering in?
She likes them all.
She likes scampering everywhere. She likes to... Normally, if I'm in here, because I'm usually in here pretty much every day working, she just likes to come in here during the day and she'll curl up in one of the chairs and just sleep. Or jump on my keyboard while I'm trying to work. She does that a lot too. And she'll like sneak up on me. Here's what she does. I'll be sitting not at this computer, but at my other big computer over there. And I'll be sitting here like working. All of a sudden I'll hear brrr, and then like she'll jump up on this arm and then jump onto the keyboard. And I'm just kind of like, okay, I just lost whatever work I was doing, so thanks a lot. She like scares the crap out of me pretty much every day because she's very, very sneaky. But she actually likes, so she sleeps in here most of the day in the big living room, like down the hall, which we haven't really done much of anything with. That's just kind of where we're just leaving. There's a couple chairs in there and shit like that, and her big cat tree is in there, and she'll sleep in the cat tree. But she likes to run up and down that room, and for a little 9 or 10 pound cat, she makes an unbelievable amount of noise running around. So it'll be like 4 o'clock in the morning, you hear, and that's her like galloping up and down the hall, chasing her little, she has like a little chicken thing that she'll pick it up in one paw and throw it and then like run after it. Because no one's awake to throw it for her because it's the middle of the night. So she's like, well, I'll just play by myself then. And she doesn't give a single shit how much noise she's making. She's very, very noisy. But you can't be mad because it's too fucking cute. Cheryl says, I love rearranging my house. I do too. You know what? When I was this is going back a long way. Even back to when I was a teenager. And I was still like just living in my parents' house. Every couple of months, I'd be like, man, I'm going to rearrange. So I'd rearrange all my furniture. I'd rearrange all my posters on the walls. Shit like that. I just really got into it. For whatever reason, you know, when we first moved into this house, I set up my office. You know, it was the first thing that I set up. I said, I'm going to bring all my shit over here and I'm going to like paint it and do everything because, you know, we have to keep the show going. So this is going to be the first place we're going to furnish and I'm going to fix it up. And so when I did that, and so I was kind of trying to hurry, and I think I did like an okay job, but then a couple days ago I was thinking to myself, you know, there's a lot of room in there, and I could probably like move some stuff around in a way that would look kind of cooler. And I was like, I think I'm going to do that. And then, so, like I said, I ordered like I actually went to Dollar General. What are you doing? Okay.
Pookie acting crazy.
I went to Dollar General and like got like a couple little tables and like some little shelving units and stuff. And so I could move some stuff around. And then I ordered like a little couch futon situation and like it's like a little coffee table kind of. And it's also like an ottoman, but it like lifts up and you can store shit in it. So I got one of those too, but that's not coming for another couple days. But, oh, and I also ordered some cabinet paint so I can paint those bathroom cabinets because they're fucking brown and I hate fucking brown anything. I don't know why they have to make brown. I would prefer, you know what? I don't like white either, but I would prefer them to be white than brown. I just don't like brown. You know? Cheryl says, my cats are loud as fuck too. Always a party at 3 a.m. Well, they sleep all day, so I don't know. I can't be mad. And honestly, she wakes up at like 5 a.m. and like jumps on my chest.
Cheryl says she's saving up for her ice maker. That's the one you get. I got the silver one. That's the Frigidaire.
Look
one
how pretty that
is
red
only
one
$89.
is.
I should have got that red one. I'm gonna go back and get a red one eventually. All right, it's about the size of a fucking popcorn machine.
Like I said, anytime you get an appliance, if they got a red one, get the red one.
Yeah,
I love red appliances.
It's about that tall and about that wide and about that deep. And you just put water in it. Make sure you filter your water first. I keep a pitcher of filtered water right in that little refrigerator. And just pour it in the top. Damn, I look weird in there with the way this light's fucking coming up.
Oh, it's because you put that up to the camera and it's readjusting.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, if you do it again, it might go back to normal.
Look like
lighting.
a ghost. And then.
Because if you put, okay, let me.
Yeah, there it goes. It went back.
Did it? Yeah,
kinda.
Yeah, sort of.
So just pour. You can pour water right through the ice. It's got all kind of indicators. Tells you when it's getting low on water. You just pour it right through the ice. It'll go right through the ice bucket and go into the reservoir, ice bucket and go into the reservoir, and it'll steady make ice. And if you don't take the ice, it doesn't matter. The ice is just melting and going back into the tray, and it'll refreeze it again. When the tray, if the ice starts to melt and get low, it'll just drop fresh ice on top of it. It's all the same water.
Yeah, every time you go in there and get some ice out, like a minute later, you'll hear like it goes somewhere, like it's making more.
Yeah.
So it always like sustains a level until it's out of water.
Right.
So I usually turn it on first thing in the morning so I can have like some ice water and shit.
When the basket gets
coffee.
filled, it just stays like that. Stops making it. If you take some, it'll drop some more on top of it a few minutes later. If you don't ever take it, it starts to melt from the bottom and the level goes down. It sees that the ice is disappearing and it starts dropping new ice on top of the old ice. But I've shut it off at night, woke up in the morning, and there'd still be ice in there, even though it was turned off, because it's pretty insulated in there. It doesn't melt quickly.
Yeah, sometimes like I'll go in the morning, and sometimes there'll be a little bit of ice in the bottom. Although usually, because I get up really early, like between 7 and 8, or sometimes earlier, but and I'll just go, and that's the first thing is I'll go in there and turn it on so I can have some ice water or some iced coffee in the morning.
If you take so much ice out of it that the water's gone, it'll stop making ice and it'll start flashing a red light. It'll just say add water. And just pour it through there.
Yeah, it's super easy to use.
Yeah.
And like I said, very, very handy. And it's pretty quick, too.
Yeah, you can order $89 at Sam's. That's
Tammy says she has one. But she has the copper one.
Yeah.
I bet the copper one's pretty, too.
Yeah, copper, black, silver, and red. I got the silver one. Should have got that damn red one.
God damn it.
I know.
Well, like I said, even when I was looking at microwaves and toaster ovens, I was looking at the red ones. They're like so pretty.
Yeah.
Tila says, feeling a tad bit guilty right now visiting my folks, and we had to board the boys at the cat sitting place.
Oh, yeah.
We check on them, and they are pissed. I bet. I can't imagine like what Pookie would feel like if we left her someplace.
Okay, so it's Friday. It's open lines tonight. If you guys want to talk about anything, you want to talk about any other cases that we mentioned before on the show, if you want to ask any questions about paranormal stuff or just anything, science, then you can just drop a comment in the comment section and we'll get to it. But in the meantime, we're just going to talk about shit like food or movies or music or whatever. With the subjects can go anywhere because why? Because we're drinking alcohol.
Yeah, I don't. Well, Pookie got me today. I didn't show you. Look, right there on my leg.
But she
jumped up on my desk and she scared the crap out of me because like I didn't see her and she just like jumped up on there and then jumped up on there and it like scared the shit out of me. And then she was trying to jump back down and my legs were because I have this long skirt on and I think she thought that was my leg.
Yeah.
So she jumped into like the skirt so there was like nothing there for her to hang on to and she was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
and like she just like grabbed my thigh and I was like, ow.
It's an accident.
It was, yeah, she didn't mean it.
Cheryl says that's the one she's getting.
Yeah, it's pretty snazzy. I mean, I'm into it.
Yeah, so far I've been happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, us too, like I said, it's just...
The house is kind of fancy. I'm having more landscaping done to it. That'll make the value of it go up because the landscaping was fucked up, real basic. Having the entryway, the concrete busted out and have a new one built in there. Just using all local talent, I'm out in the country, so these guys are everywhere. You can get them to come work little by little. They're jumping from one place to the next. They got the skills, you can just get a little contractor. He goes, yeah, I can do that. Just give me a couple days. I'll get all the shit together, Might take him a week or so, but he'll come back with everything he needs and does it. And prices are good, you know, so.
Eventually, and this is kind of down the road because I know it's going to be expensive. Eventually, I would like the driveway done in pavers.
Yeah.
Because the driveway is really long.
Yeah.
And it's really like it has a lot of cracks in it.
And a bunch of oil stains from
and a bunch of oil stains because the renters that were here before, there was like a bunch of them living here, and you know, because this is like a kind of a big house, and so every one of them had a car, so there were like 5 or 6 cars, and there's a 2-car garage, but you know, it looked like
they weren't using that. I don't think.
No, I don't think they were using.
They were probably storing stuff in it.
Yeah, I imagine.
And whatever the cars were, they were jalapenos because they were just dropping fucking oil and brake fluid everywhere. You just see spots going all down. It just got to be, and it's just slabs of concrete, so it cracked. It needs to be, cracks need to be filled, or maybe even busted that out and fucking replace it with tarmac. But there's standards, you know, the HOA, there's only certain things that they'll take. You can have pavers. I don't know if you can paint it, though. You might be able to cover it with tarmac.
I honestly, most of the driveways when we walked around were just like regular, but there were there was one house, I can't remember where it was, but we passed it, and they had really, really nice pavers. And I was kind of like, ooh, I wouldn't mind having that done, but I'm sure that was like
thousands and
that's
thousands.
Going to be really expensive though, because that was like really, really nice looking though. Yeah, Cheryl said, I'm always covered in bruises. Get a puppy, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Pookie's not much of a scratcher, to be honest. Oh, thank you, Ian England. Thank you very much, man. That's very nice.
$20 super chat early on. And we haven't even done anything yet. We're not even drunk. We're not even being funny.
Murder Hornet asks, Tom, how much test is too much in a week?
Well, it depends on how much you weigh and what your goals are. And if you're just running a testosterone base, and you're going to run a testosterone base so you can do something like lay in anabolics, an anabolic stack on top of that, the weight that you're gaining is not coming from that test, it's coming from the anabolics. So you can run something light. You can be, depending on what it is, you could probably drop that down to 100 milligrams of test a week if you're doing something like Dianabol, because Dianabol is a lot like test. But basically about 200 would be a decent base. If you wanted to bump up on top of that, most I've ever heard of would be about 700 a week. Some guys have done that if you can handle it. Now, the dudes that were doing that were 200-something pounds, you know, because they're lean. So it's a lot of muscle that they're trying to supply. 400's easy. I'd say most I'd probably do be 700. If you can do that much, man, why aren't you doing something like a real anabolic, you know? Winstrol, Dianabol, injectable, not pills, you know, but, and then, you know, fucking Decadurabolin. Dollar for dollar, though, you know, everybody knows is the one. I won't even fuck with that one, which is Tren. Dollar for dollar, Tren will fucking turn you into a beast. But just, test is not something you want to take a whole lot of, you know, not unless you want to lose all your hair and fucking grow a bunch of fucking hair on your back, you know. It's very androgenic. It's 1-to-1 anabolic and androgenic ratio. So I don't know if that's answered your question or not.
Cheryl says Jenny needs a black flower garden.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be neat. And then John Gore says get a moat with gators.
HOA won't allow it.
We could be sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to be sneaky with that.
You see, it's got a big, almost an acre of property. It's just shy of an acre, which pisses me off. Because a little bit more room, and I'd have an acre, and I'd be able to shoot here. If you have a backstop, I'd be able to shoot here.
Well, somebody's shooting around here because I hear people shooting all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty rural. Like I said, if you go just a little way out.
I think it's 0.8 acres. Or 0.9 acres. So there's a huge back out there. I'm going to fucking make a big old garden out of there. And put some fruit trees. I'm going to have fruit trees and avocado trees. And going to make this fucking planter and fucking do potatoes in there. And broccoli, stuff like that.
You ain't growing any tomatoes?
Yeah, I grow some
You
tomatoes.
can grow some tomatoes.
Grow some tomatoes. That's
They're
easy.
pretty easy to grow.
Yeah. I'll do them in a planter. Planters. But then, like the trees, I'm going to have them in there so it kind of looks decorative, you know. You'd have to look real hard to see that it's going to look like a park. That's how I'm going to have it. And then you look and you go, wait a minute. That park fucking yields food. See, because I could be straight up fucking Mississippi like my grandparents and put rows of corn out there and fucking shit. A whole fucking row of fucking cotton, you know what I mean? But they'd fucking HOA would kick my ass. Like, what the fuck are you doing out here?
Nothing.
Yeah. But there's a couple other people I've noticed around. I go, oh man, those are orange trees. They're like, oh yeah, I see what you're doing. So that's pumpkins. You know, so some people are eating off of their
I mean, you could do it within reason as long as it wasn't like an eyesore.
No, I'm going to make it fucking pretty with rocks around it and little islands and like a little walk path through it.
I don't see how they
I'm
would
going to have it, once I get it all lit, it's a big sprinkler system, see? Already, the whole thing's already systemed out, so you might as well put food out there.
Yeah, I mean, why
Might as
not?
well. You can get an avocado tree for $30.
Yeah. And man, I love avocados.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
They have all kind of fun shit out there. Like, we need to grow some pumpkins too, I feel like.
I'm going to put pumpkins out there.
I grew some pumpkins in my grandma's backyard a long time ago, like when I was in my teens.
Yeah.
So they're fairly easy to grow. Yeah, I think you can grow watermelons too.
Yeah, pumpkins, watermelons. I probably put them up in a pile and put rocks around it so it's like an island, and you know what I mean? So there's some pretty plants, maybe a bush there, kind of concealing the fact that that little island out there fucking makes food.
It's a food.
Just go down there and get some pumpkins, because Jenny's seen how much damage I can do on pumpkins, what I can make with pumpkins. 2 pumpkins, I'll yield fucking 10 gallons of fucking pumpkin slurry. We'll be making down pumpkin curry and pumpkin bread and pumpkin muffins and pumpkin cookies. You'll get fucking sick of that shit. And I gotta get
I won't.
I'm gonna get a couple of them lay down freezers. Try to get them for about $100-something each, and put them in their garage to have more freezer space. If I buy one of them cows over there,
or you know, if we need to hide a body or something, you never know.
Jenny's like, use that motherfucker for compost.
You never know what might happen. I'm just saying.
Jenny and her horror fucking.
Well, I'm sorry. That's how my brain works.
Okay.
Immediately, it's either horror or true crime. My brain just turns to that.
Okay,
I'm sorry. That's
give
how
us
it is.
super chats. As Tila gave us super chat.
Thank you, Tila.
Gee.
Gramthars Hammer says my annual physical blood work came back this week. 244 NGDL. Is that low?
Who is this?
Gramthars.
How much was it?
244.
What about it? For nanograms per deciliter?
Yeah.
Pretty low. Pretty low. Well, let me give you an idea. If I come off of everything, if I come off of HRT, and I'm just maybe like on a little bit of HCG trying to make sure that my normal system is running, I do about 950 nanograms per deciliter. That's what my blood is. When I'm on some good shit, when I'm on 200 milligrams a week test, I'm not talking about anything else, just test, more like 1,300 nanograms per deciliter, I'm boosted. I'm very much boosted. And if fucking other things are involved like Winstrol or fucking Anavar, it's going to be higher. Maybe 2,000, 1,600 probably. But I'm not doing a whole lot. It's kind of lower doses, just real even. Just kind of fold one thing in and run that for a little while and then get that out of the system and then maybe put something else in there. The idea is I'm not an IFBB pro bodybuilder. I'm not trying to fucking win the Olympia. I'm far too old for that. I showed you what my goals are. My goals are to look like that Chinese dude at 73. Motherfucker, 73 years old. He looks better than me. That dude will probably live into his hundreds if he doesn't get cancer. Cancer eventually can get you.
I mean, if something else doesn't get you first, cancer will get you.
It will eventually get you.
Yeah,
right.
if other things.
But
don't get you first.
that dude is going to die strong and he's going to die handsome. He's a handsome Chinese guy, fucking with a fantastic physique. He doesn't have any plastic surgery on his face, and he looks about almost like my age. And he's 73. And it's because he kind of... It was just about maintenance and replenishing and restoring the body's hormones, which are naturally lost because your production goes away as you age. You've got to replace those hormones. Your teeth fall out, you replace your teeth with false teeth. Your hormones fall out, you replace your hormones with synthetic alternatives. And the technology and the knowledge is there. You put in some tests, maybe put in some other stuff that'll help you if you're in training. And it's not to get fucking huge, it's just to enhance. To enhance and to keep your body strong, to help you fight off the effects of fucking aging and to get away from depletion. You've got to start it early, around 50 maximum. If knowing what I know now, I would have went on at 40. I would have looked a lot better right now had I gone on at 40. If you sit around and wait till you're fucking 70 and you think, oh, I'm going to go on HRT, no, the damage is done. Damage is done. So you got to get on it before the damage happens.
Murder Hornet asks, Jenny or Tom, what's the benefits of being a member of American Homeowners of America or whatever it's called? Yeah, HOA just means Homeowners Association.
Yeah, each
and honestly,
neighborhood has one.
Yeah, depending. Not every neighborhood has one, but a lot of these kind of like planned communities do. But the thing about it, though, is that they're wildly divergent. In one, how much you pay. Like some neighborhoods, the HOA is very high. Some of them are very low. And some of them have different rules and some of them have different benefits.
Yeah.
I feel like the one we have here is less restrictive in a lot of ways than the one that was at our old neighborhood. And it's a little bit less, I think.
You're not going to answer Tila's question?
Well, I haven't gone down there yet because I'm trying to...
She paid for that question.
Where is it? I was trying to do some... Okay, first question of the evening for all. Name your top 5 horror movie sequels. I'll start with Exorcist 3, a perfect movie.
Yeah, Exorcist 3 was good.
Yeah, because Cheryl was... Well, I was trying to... Like I said, I was kind of behind because I was like... There was some questions back there that I was answering. But yeah,
go back to it.
It depends. Like, HOA, it just depends what neighborhood you're in. Like I said, they're not the same across the board. They don't have the same rules. They don't have the same benefits. This one here, we get cheaper Wi-Fi. It's not always the best Wi-Fi, obviously, because sometimes we get kicked off.
It's the best you can get around here.
But it's the best you can get around here because it's very rural.
Yeah.
So we haven't had too much trouble with it, and it's not super expensive. Honestly, the HOA here is cheaper than our old neighborhood, and they do have rules as to like what color combos you can paint your house and shit like that. But it seems
every house is built on a color scheme.
It's less restrictive than our old neighborhood, though.
Right.
It is less restrictive.
Right.
So
they show you the color schemes that you can have. They give you the numbers of the fucking paints and everything. What color the house has to be, what the trim has to be, and what color the door has to be. And you can't deviate.
Well,
and you'll have about 8 or 9 different choices.
There's choices these colors go together, that color goes together.
So all the houses match.
The only rule they have is like you can't paint your house the same colors as the one across the street from you or the one on either side of you.
So it has to be a diversity.
Because they want a diversity
they have to break everything
of colors. They don't want a bunch of same color houses next to each other.
And the reason why they do that is because you got people that move in here from other countries that have fucked up ideas about what looks good.
Damn foreigners.
Yeah. You have people that move in here from other countries that think that pink is a color that the house should be pink.
Well, some parts of the world they like pink houses. I'm not going to complain. Yeah. I don't like that, but you know.
There's some places in the world where
it's a cultural thing.
A pink house means that it's rich because all the government buildings are painted pink. So therefore, if you're fucking powerful and rich, your house is painted pink. That shit doesn't fly in Florida. They don't have fucking pink houses. You know, it's just not gonna happen. And you're depreciating the value of everybody else's house with that. You're gonna have people that find their way. And you know, I'm not fucking being racist against rednecks because we're rednecks, and you know we have rednecks in the family and shit. This isn't the kind of neighborhood where you can hang a fucking used tire from a tree, or be able to have a fucking a station for pulling motors out of your fucking truck in the front yard.
Like old fridges and
old
stuff.
refrigerators and shit. You know,
that redneck staple.
Right. You're going to have to fucking leave the neighborhood. Also, another thing is that they go through criminal background. You can't be a sex offender and live here.
Yeah, some neighborhoods do have that, where they have a rule where if you are a sex offender, registered sex offender, they won't let you move in the neighborhood. So, does this one have that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I knew some of them did, but I wasn't sure about this one. Because, like I said, there's no. It's basically up to the neighborhood, like whoever built the shit. Everybody has their own rules.
T asked that question and we never answered it.
Well, we're getting to it. I was finishing up the old
best Hollywood sequels. All right, Exorcist 3. I'll put that up there. She said,
that's really
top
good.
5. I would say Exorcist.
Top
3.
5 horror movie sequels.
All right.
Phantasm 2.
All the Phantasm sequels.
Yeah.
All the fucking Reanimator sequels. They're real good.
Bride of Reanimator, good.
Honestly,
all of them. I liked actually all of them.
We're talking about horror sequels that can stand on their own. They're great. And Phantasm, the whole fucking series. Reanimator, the whole series.
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead, the whole series, including the television series.
Oh my god, that TV series was so good. Ash vs. Evil Dead. If you guys haven't seen it, seriously watch it. It's so good. It was so good. Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
All of the Omen sequels. Omen 1, 2, and 3, they're all good.
That's also good.
They're all good.
I'm trying to think of ones that I liked the sequel better than the original. I mean, obviously, one of the obvious answers is Aliens.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I know that's a sequel, but it's like they're almost they're both awesome, but they're both like different genres of movies almost. So I don't know. So I guess that'd be up there too. But I was trying to think if there was any other good Nightmare on Elm Streets. Honestly, Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is the best sequel. It's not as good as the original, but it's still good. Although I've developed more love for 2 over the years. You know, the gay one. Well, you know what? I don't know if it's still on there, but if you have Shudder, there's actually a documentary, and it's called Scream Queen, and it's about the guy that was in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and how his career was affected by him being in that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's actually really, really good. It's really interesting.
Yeah, some people have mentioned, like Cheryl's mentioned, like the Dawn of the Dead stuff. Yeah, all of the fucking Night of the Living Dead sequels were...
Yeah, all Romero's stuff was worth watching.
They all range from pretty good to real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which really, I mean, with sequels, that's all you can ask for. Because nobody is expecting a sequel to be better than the original. I don't think anybody's expecting that. But if it's as good, I mean, shit, that's about all you can ask for, right? Every now and then it's better, but that doesn't usually happen. And we've talked about why that is before. It's just because the original, you know, that's a new property. That's a new thing. It's like once you've seen it, now you're seeing it again, and it's not going to have the same impact as the first time. So unless they do something totally different. And honestly, making a sequel is like really difficult, to be fair, because it's like, look, do people want to see more of the same thing? Because if you do too much of that, then people will complain. But if you make it too different, then people will complain about that. So in a lot of ways, you can't really win.
Graham, talking about Road Warrior. Road Warrior wasn't horror, so that won't.
Well, that's true, but that's still like a good one.
Right.
I mean, I didn't want to say it's horror adjacent because it's not, but it's still like a movie that a lot of people that like horror movies like.
Post-apocalyptic action.
So, you know, and there is post-apocalyptic horror as well. Right. So, you know, it's.
And Graham's saying, well, he feels fine, fucking with test levels. Yeah, what happens is test levels over time when they start to diminish, they start to decline. You kind of adapt to it, where it feels okay. So you don't really notice any difference. But to go and fucking inject some, you'll see what I'm talking about. After about 3 weeks, and that shit starts flooding in. I can remember what it was like. You're like, oh yeah, I remember what this was like. You know, it fucking start going back to your teenage years. No, there's a big difference. And when you start bumping a certain, 900 nanograms, 1,000 nanograms per deciliter test in your system, all of a sudden, your recovery rates, your rate of fucking healing up and you just start to become more indestructible. Your joints and everything just start feeling a lot better. I had a hard time before I went on HRT. I had a hard time getting down on my knees or sitting cross-legged or getting back up. You'd be like, ugh, ah. Or like, getting down in a push-up position and looking down underneath the car, and getting back up like, oh, man. Now I could fucking just like an acrobat feel like I did back in the Army as a fucking young paratrooper, No. And it's not an illusion. It's because everything's healing back up. You talk to the doctor and your doctor's like, yeah, your joints and everything, all the little fluid that your endocrine system makes to make the damn buffering fluid inside your joints is working now. So it kind of sidesteps things like, joint pain and arthritis. So there isn't any rubbing. Cartilage builds up again. Bone density builds up. You're not as frail, It's harder to break a bone. But it takes several years of being at that level to replenish and rebuild all that. It's not instant. If you go back and look at me 10 months ago, it's recorded right here on the show. Go back into the archive 10 months ago and look at me. I look totally different. I look scrawny compared to now. And I didn't feel as good. I feel a lot better now. I will whip your fucking ass now. Not back then.
Through the screen.
What's that?
Through the screen.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll fucking tear your arms off like a damn. You feel fucking
like a
great.
Chimpanzee.
What's
like that chimpanzee that tore that woman's face off.
Yeah.
We should do a show
feel
about
like a
that.
fucking Chewbacca.
You know what? We should do a show about people that keep apes. Or trained apes, because that's actually something I've read a lot of books about, and it's actually kind of fascinating. You know what I mean? There was a famous chimp called Nim Chimpsky, who he was on like Sesame Street and shit like that back in the 80s or 70s, and I read a whole book about his little life story and everything, and that'd be good to do a show about. Yeah, Gramthars says Road Warrior is better than Mad Max. Agree with you there. Yeah. Terminator 2 better than Terminator? No. Wrong.
Not true.
Empire Strikes Back better than Star Wars. Yeah, okay, I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Lee Warner says, I've been curious about this. Watch the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel on Netflix today. Predictable, lazy, boring shit. Yeah. I kind of feel like I'm hearing mixed reviews of that. I don't know. Did that really need to be made? Honestly, and I'm going to say, obviously, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's the OG, and that just can't be replicated. I will say, though, that the remake that they did in 2004, not bad. Not as good as the original, obviously, but I didn't hate it. So there's that. I actually did go see it in the theater, and I was like, oh, that was much better than I was expecting. So I don't really know if they needed to do another one, but whatever.
Grams, to tell you about the Terminator and Terminator 2, just got to disagree. Go back and watch them. Decades ago, I would have said you were right, but go back and watch them now. T2 is a good movie, but it is an action movie. It has a lot of flaws in it. Things that didn't age well. Most of it having to do with the kid.
I think maybe if that wasn't in there, then I think it would be better.
And the fact that Arnold is not playing a villain, terrible. What made Terminator 1 so great is that it is actually a horror movie disguised as a science fiction movie. It's not science fiction, it's fucking horror. The Terminator is a fucking monster. It's a monster. It's like Jaws, but it's from the future. And it's a technological monster. And it's just a bleak movie. And
it is
very fucking basic. It doesn't force you to believe any bullshit, really. It's just like a very simple concept. This thing from the future has come back to the past to kill this woman because she's going to give birth to this kid that's going to give it trouble. And a dude goes from the future, comes back to try to stop it. It's kind of simple. Yeah. And that's a perfect fucking movie. There should have been no sequels. The more they built on that fucking story, the more fucked up that story became. And then they did the cardinal fucking sin. They showed you Skynet. They should have never done that. Never given a face to that thing. It's better when that shit is just not explained. No details. It's a lot more mysterious. I try to erase from my mind T2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all that bullshit. I pretend like that's not there. Even though Terminator Salvation was kind of a fun movie, but I kind of saw it more of a standalone. It was not like 1 or 2 at all.
The thing about it is, like, I kind of wish... I mean, there's an argument to be made that you could make other movies in that same universe, but...
Yeah.
Making direct sequels, I always feel
Darren,
like you're
dumb.
kind of shooting yourself in the dick.
Dumb.
I know why they do it, because they make money.
Right.
You know, and they generally do, even though it's diminishing returns, they do make money because people want to see something that's familiar, and so they'll pay to see it. But like I said, and I've brought this up before, I'm a big horror fan, and I'm a big fan of keeping stuff not so ambiguous that you don't know what the fuck is going on, but the more you keep shit unknown or mysterious and stuff like that, the scarier it is,
Yep.
the more effective it is,
Yep.
the more you explain it,
The more you're fucking it up.
yeah, you're fucking it up.
That's kind of the same
And
thing.
honestly, when they do a sequel, you kind of can't help but explain it more, because what else are you going to do?
Yep.
I mean, you have to, like, expand these, and it's really hard to do that while still, you know, it's hard to do that without, like, demystifying what made the first movie so good in the first place.
That's what happened with the Alien sequel, the Alien franchise and the Prometheus stuff. They're explaining too much.
Knock it
there
off.
really should only be Alien 1 and 2, 3 a little bit maybe, but even that had problems. They should have just left it right there. Now then, the Alien versus Predators, I liked them because they didn't really give you a whole lot of information. They just showed you some cool shit. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're
Sorry,
gonna
you
do that, just make it like monster fights. Don't try
Yeah.
to like don't try to expand the lore. Don't
Nope.
try to add stupid shit to it.
Nope.
Just like have it be monster
Yep.
fights and gore and people's
Yep.
heads getting pulled off and stuff.
And some people
That's
didn't
fine.
like Requiem. I can understand why they didn't like it because it was too dark. It was too dark. There's certain scenes
Like
where
literally, too
literally
dark.
you couldn't see
you
what's
couldn't
going
see what
on.
was going on.
I think you could fix it. I think, but you could probably digitally fix that just to lighten it up a little bit. But I loved Requiem. I thought Requiem was good. It was the fucking game warden shows up, alien outbreak of fucking predaliens, and it didn't go into a big detailed description. That was the problem with Predators, that last Predator movie. There too much fucking explanation. Global warming and it's crossbreeding with humans. No, fuck all that bullshit. No, you really should not talk too much about your monster. Let the monster be. Let it be a monster. The reason why it's a monster is because you're curious about it. It's an unknown. When you give more information, just show, don't tell. It does something new you haven't seen that before. That's all you do. That's all it is. It's not rocket science. You don't want to know these
Ooh,
things.
one of my posters
names.
is falling down in the background.
What happened?
One of my posters is falling down in the background.
Yeah, okay. You don't want to know what these things' names are. You don't want to know what planet they come from. You don't want to know motivate. You don't want to know any of that. It will demystify it. That's all I'm saying.
Can you go stick that back up there? Because that's going to bother me. Like,
Why don't I just pull it down?
No, why don't you stick it back up there?
Because I can't reach that. What do you think? I'm fucking 6'6"?
There's a
reach
chair.
that.
There's a chair right there. There's a chair.
Pookie's in a chair.
Oh, Pookie's in the chair?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I couldn't see her.
yeah.
She's almost the same. She's like, what? She's looking up at the corner.
Like, yeah, Pook.
I need some more two-sided tape. Okay.
Just take it down.
I didn't have a frame for it, so I was like,
Pookie's
well, I'll
looking
just
like,
stick it up
what
on the
the
wall with
fuck?
two-sided tape, and it's not, like, working out.
Right.
All right, so Tila, thank you again, asked another question. Best drama sequels. I'm going to start with The Godfather Part 2.
It's okay, Pook.
She's like, what the fuck?
She's like, fuck all this.
Oh, you scared her.
I scared. Poster did. I didn't do it, Pookie. The poster did.
She's like, I'm going to blame you, though. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Godfather 2, I can't really think of another one that was as good as that one. I feel like dramas don't get as many sequels as horror movies or sci-fi, as genre movies do. You know? You know what's weird? I don't know why I just thought of this, but I guess because of a video I was watching
He
earlier.
says actually Tom's ego is 6 foot tall. Oh no. Nine.
It's way taller than that.
Foot.
It's way taller than
9 foot. Yeah. Yeah.
6 foot, 7 foot,
Yeah.
8 foot. Yeah.
That's my stick, man. My stick, man.
I probably missed like so many fucking. Oh man,
Yeah.
I was way behind. Yeah. So
Texas Chainsaw. T says Texas Chainsaw is getting good reviews. T, it's good to have you back on the show because you say so much shit. It gives us something to talk about.
Zach says, "What's a remake you prefer to the original?" The Blob. We just covered that one the other day. I actually think that's way better than the original. Honestly, The Fly.
Yeah.
The Thing.
Yeah.
I mean, any one that was just like a really old movie or like a cheesy 50s movie or something like that was remade, with some seriousness, that's generally better.
Yeah. T comes back there saying, Cheryl's going, that's right, Tom, just let it be a monster. T says, that's right, show don't tell, Tom's exactly.
I mean, that's kind of like writing 101.
Writing 101, and that was the problem with fucking Terminator. Terminator and did, as it went on, Terminator started to do too much telling and not enough showing. Instead of fucking T2, what I would have done is I'd have gone Back to the Future. Back to the Future. The next movie should have been in the future. Okay, it should have been the dude, what was his name? Connor?
Yeah.
Should have been Connor in the future, fucking fighting the damn Terminators with a young Kyle Reese. And then the mission to send Kyle back to the past. That's what it should have been. But you see, that would have been too expensive. And Arnold did not want to be, in his contract, he couldn't be a villain. Because he was too good as a villain. Arnie was built to be a villain. But I understand why he didn't want to be a villain in movies, because he'd have been typecast and he'd have quickly lost popularity. His career would have been ruined.
Well, he'd have been a character actor.
He'd been a character actor.
And he wanted to be a star.
Yeah. That's a smart move. But
career-wise, sure.
But artistically, Arnie is the fucking perfect villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why Total Recall worked so well. Because he was both the hero and the villain in that. You realize that?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't what he thought he was. He actually was the fucking evil secret agent that erased his own brain to fucking go through the whole... So he became a double agent. He was going against himself. Remember in the recordings of himself... Remember he had recordings of himself saying, you are me. And I work for the bad guys. Remember? But you're not. But you as the audience member, you know when you're like my friend Little Swell, he does not want to believe that Quaid was. First of all, it was the ego trip. He's back at Recall. He paid for this ego trip. You know what I mean? It was all a fantasy he paid for. But in his fantasy, he was actually the bad guy who had turned and become a good guy. In the fantasy that he bought.
He had a very elaborate fantasy.
It was an elaborate fantasy. So in a way, Quaid was the bad guy.
Ian England says, Event Horizon is my favorite horror movie. That's a good flick, actually. We reviewed that a while back, I think. It was like last year sometime. I think we reviewed that. And Saw 2, 3, 4, and 5 were better than Saw 1. You know what? I don't think... I saw the first Saw. And I'm pretty sure I saw the second one and maybe the third one. But I don't remember a great deal about them. So... It's a good series. I don't know. It's not one of the ones that I, jump to, I guess. It's a good idea.
Somebody just saw Possessor by Cronenberg.
Man, I really liked that. Yeah, that was...
Which one was that?
That was Brandon Cronenberg.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, that was the one...
he's actually as good as his dad in some ways.
Yeah, it's the same but different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can tell that that's David Cronenberg's kid, for sure. Yeah. But he's kind of got his own thing going on, too.
I'd like to see more of his shit. Is there shit we haven't seen from him?
He did a movie called... Oh, shit. What was the one he did before Possessor? What the fuck was the name of it? I reviewed it.
Did he do Upgrade?
No.
Who did Upgrade? That was a good one.
Fuck, now I can't remember.
That was a Cronenbergish kind of movie.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not exactly the same. I mean, the thing about Cronenberg, whether David or Brandon, is that the minute you see a Cronenberg movie, it's just... I mean, he might as well be standing there in front of the camera. That's how distinctive that dude's style is. And I kind of feel like some people have tried to like replicate it, and you can't quite do it. You can't quite do it. There's just something just immediately like Cronenbergian about that gene pool.
Yeah.
What was his? God damn it! What the fuck was it? I reviewed it like a few months ago. The one that Brandon Cronenberg did before Possessor. Fuck. I'll probably remember it like 10 minutes from now. It was really good. I liked Possessor a little bit better, but the first one was good too.
T and Mary are talking about having good taste and liking the Marathon Man. Yeah, we did a review of Marathon Man. I don't know if T has seen it, our review of it, but yeah, I love that movie. It's a good movie. That's one of his best movies. That Dustin Hoffman. That was one of his best movies. That one and Midnight Cowboy. He had a lot of good movies in his heyday.
I mean, God, he's been in so fucking many. What a career that dude has had.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But like all careers, I mean, he ended up doing some shit. What was it? Outbreak. I didn't really think that was that good. He started. He retired on a good note. He retired before he started doing ridiculous shit. It's just some of this stuff started. The times had changed. It wasn't so much him.
Well, the thing too is that sometimes actors, actresses, whoever, once you get older, if you still need work, and sometimes you're not getting the same kind of meaty ass roles you used to get. Right. Sometimes you're going to be put in some like lame ass Hallmark Christmas movie, And honestly, I don't begrudge people being in that. I don't, it's a job. That's what their job is. And they need a paycheck just like everybody else, even though they're rich. So I don't, I'm not quite as sympathetic, but But if they still need work, then honestly, I have more respect for them if they, agree to do, for example, like a cheesy ass Hallmark Christmas movie, and they do their fucking best at it, even though the movie's terrible. But they show up and they do the shit and they take it seriously, then that's going to get a lot more respect than somebody that just like fucking phones it in or whatever. So not like I watch those movies, so I don't really know. So I don't know if they phone it or not. It doesn't really matter, but yeah. Zach says, I'm amazed a movie like The Godfather got a sequel, knowing what kind of movies would become popular a decade later. Yeah, that seems like a really weird, and it's kind of telling, isn't it, that when Tila said, thank you, that when Tila said, like, best sequels to dramas, honestly, Godfather 2 was the only thing that I could think of that was in it, because I kind of feel like dramas, they don't usually, they don't usually get sequels. They're usually pretty self-contained. Not always, but I kind of feel like sequels are more kind of like that's more a horror, sci-fi, big tentpole movie type of thing. I kind of feel like that's more like a genre movie type thing. Let's see. John Goris, I felt that way about all the Michael Myers sequels. Too much information. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the first Halloween is like the perfect slasher movie. It's like, the platonic ideal of the slasher movie. Okay. But then, they just over-explained it, and then they went off on that whole, like, supernatural thing, which what the fuck was even that? And then Rob Zombie comes in, and look, I love Rob Zombie's music. Some of his movies are okay, like his original ones, if you're in the mood for that kind of thing. But, I liked House of a Thousand Corpses. I liked all that stuff. But when he did the Halloween remake and insisted on showing Michael Myers as a kid, and he was, like, beaten up by a stripper mom or whatever, I was just kind of like, this is not... The whole scary thing of Halloween to me was that you were never entirely clear whether Michael Myers was, like, a person or whether he was just, like, the embodiment of evil, because he had, like, some kind of supernatural sort of shit to it, but in a real low-key kind of way. And to me, that's way scarier. Don't explain that shit. Just let it be the way it is. And I don't want to see Mike Myers like, oh, he's some poor kid that got beat up by his stripper, drug-addicted mom, or whatever. It's like, it just made me so mad. I'm like, do you know nothing about horror at all? And like I said, I don't have a problem with torture porn type stuff. I don't, I'm not one of those people. Like, I love all kind of horror, and depending on what kind of mood I'm in, I like real gory shit. I like torture porn shit. I like all that kind of stuff. It's not my favorite, but I mean, usually I like more ambiguous or like ghost story type stuff. But if I'm in the mood for like a big fucking gore fest, then yeah, I'll watch that and I'll have a really good time with it. But don't take a character that was intriguing because he was mysterious and demystify him by saying, oh, he was just some poor kid that got beat up and then he turned into a murderer. That's just so mundane, you know? It just like takes away a lot of the intrigue for me, I guess. So it kind of ruined it. Let's see. I got way behind. I was way behind because I try to answer questions like as they come in, but then like there's so much stuff and I'm like getting way behind. Zach says, something I'm noticing lately is movies look too dark in theaters because they turn the projected brightness down so they don't have to replace bulbs as much. I had not noticed that. We haven't been to the movies all that much lately. I think, like, you know, we went and saw Dune and we went and saw, like, some other stuff. And we went and saw Nightmare Alley, which... Oh, Nightmare Alley is on Hulu already. So, if you haven't seen it... I know that it got, like, mixed reviews, and I think it got nominated for an Oscar, though. But I fucking loved Nightmare Alley. I thought it was fantastic. And seeing it come up on Hulu, I was almost kind of like, man, I almost kind of want to watch it again. But, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Posters Bauhaus picture keeps changing colors. Yeah, what happened was yesterday when I was rearranging stuff, I had to unplug some of the lights to, you know, move them. And sometimes when you unplug the light and plug it back in, it remembers your settings. Sometimes when you unplug it and plug it back in, it doesn't remember your settings and decides that it's going to like just change colors randomly. And I'm not entirely sure how to get it to stop doing that. So I'm just like in here working and I'm like, oh, it's like cycling through all the colors. Okay. That was like, I don't really know how to fix it. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I mean, maybe Tom remembers, but I don't. And honestly, like it has remote controls, but they're not within reach at the moment. Let's see. Yeah, Tom's ego is 6 foot. Get Out and Us were really good. Yeah, I agree with that. I really like those. Actually, I think we saw Us twice in the theater now that I'm thinking about it. I really liked that. Guillermo del Toro, always worth watching. Oh, definitely. He definitely is. You know what? I still haven't seen The Shape of Water, but I think it's on Hulu, so it's on my list. I can't believe that I still haven't seen that. And eventually, one day, I want to do a retrospective or Flickers of Fear on Chronos, because I actually have it on DVD in here, and it's really, really good if you haven't seen it. It's one of his very early movies.
My neighbor's fucking jamming, huh?
I know, right?
What the fuck? Bitch needs to pay his water bill. That's right. That's right. I said, bitch needs to pay his water bill.
He needs to pay his water bill. Why?
I saw the waterman going to turn his water off.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh.
He must have paid that shit and they turned it back on, though.
So they're over there like they don't have any water next door?
He wants to jam out, but I saw the waterman turn his fucking water off.
They're not worried about it, man. They're just like...
Yeah.
Those are the same neighbors that were... Well, hey.
Yeah.
Pookie just ran into the chair.
What's up, folks?
They were the same neighbors that were having the Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
They were like...
The gay Super Bowl party.
That were blaring fucking Fleetwood Mac into my window all day. Which I'm not averse to Fleetwood Mac. They're a good band and everything. But I was just kind of like, holy crap, if I want to listen to Fleetwood Mac, I'd listen to Fleetwood Mac in here. I don't need you guys like fucking...
Yeah.
Like I said, you can't give rednecks money.
You can't give those motherfuckers money. Ask Rick James. Rick James knows all about giving these motherfuckers money. They'll just make tons and tons
of noise. And...
Yeah. The color doesn't matter. Fucking, you can't give these motherfuckers money. Can't give a redneck fucking money. Fuck no.
They'll just buy bigger speakers and a bigger truck.
Fuck your couch.
And more beer.
Yeah.
And all the neighbors will say. Well, you see, okay. This is what, when I used to live in Daytona, my next door neighbor, I can't remember what his name was. My next door neighbor was the world's biggest Lynyrd Skynyrd fan. And I'm like not even joking. And he would get up early and he had all this crazy like landscaping shit going on in his yard. And like a lot of it was paved, but then he had like all this, I don't know what the hell he was doing over there. So he would get up really early every morning, and the Lynyrd Skynyrd would start blasting about 7:30 a.m., which was problematic for me because at that time I was working on the night shift, so I actually didn't get home until 3 or 4 in the morning. And so I was trying to sleep, until at least 9 or 10. But that never worked out because he was always out there blasting Sweet Home Alabama pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Top of the volume. And then, if that wasn't bad enough, he would also sing along with it at the top of his voice.
Mm-hmm.
And my bedroom was right there, like right next to where he was. So, yeah, I didn't get a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
When I was living there, is what I'm saying. Can't give rednecks money. They'll just use it to make more noise.
Go down to a biker bar. You'll see it's just up the road. Motherfuckers.
I know. Like I said, I grew up in Daytona.
Give them motherfuckers money. They're gonna put Sweet Home Alabama in the jukebox over and over and over again. Yep. It's gonna be Sweet Home Alabama. Fucking Jenny and I were laughing. We were going down to Mannequins one time, and fucking everybody was out. And I'm in the car, and I think our window was cracked, and we were playing just regular fucking like Cold Wave, It might have on our shit probably like, for all I know, it's probably like something off Joy Division or something.
Yeah, I think it was like more 80s. Like
we were listening like Joy Division.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to pull into the Mannequins fucking intersection, where I'm gonna go behind there and get into the damn parking lot. And a car comes in, comes out of the crowd. There's a crowd of people walking on the sidewalks, and a car comes at me, and I could hear the fucking bass and the fucking music and shit coming out of it, and it's Sweet Home Alabama.
We laughed and laughed.
And motherfucker was loud as fuck. And I'm looking, I'm going, what the fuck, who's this motherfucker banging fucking Sweet Home Alabama? And I look, and it's a brother. It's a fucking black dude. And my mind was fucking blown. I don't know if he was trolling those people or if he was actually... I think he was trolling.
He might have been.
I think he was trolling them. It was a good troll. Because I was trolled. I was like, what? What the fuck?
Because how funny would that be? I mean, I get it. It is pretty funny. I laughed.
It was fucking funny. My mind was bent. I mean, I'm like, is he trolling? Could it be? Because you never can tell. This is Florida.
Yeah.
He might love fucking,
That's true.
He might love that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking. But that would have been a really good way to troll all those white people. That too. It'd have been awesome. It would have fucking funny.
Because like I said,
I think he was trolling.
I mean, we did laugh.
I think he was trolling.
It worked.
But how did he pull fucking Sweet Home Alabama out of his ass so quickly to troll everybody?
It's called like the 21st Century.
Yeah.
You can basically just go on fucking Spotify or whatever.
Yeah, I guess
and
so.
just like fucking.
I guess so.
Sure.
He was prepared. He came prepared.
Maybe he was planning the shit.
I don't know.
I'm gonna drive in downtown Sanford, which is like the whitest fucking thing ever.
With fucking.
I mean, it's not the whitest thing ever, but it's pretty white.
Yeah.
Downtown Sanford is pretty white.
Chantel was pissed. She was pissed that it was getting gentrified. And fucking, too many damn white people.
Well, I mean, her business is all soul food.
Yeah, and Will was like, no. Will's a friend of mine. He's an army buddy of mine. He's a black guy, and he's married to an army major, white girl, and fucking Will has some Scottish blood in him. But if you were to ask fucking Will, he is 100% Scottish. That motherfucker shows up in a gothed out fucking Scottish fucking kilt.
Yep.
With a fucking shillelagh or a fucking.
Well, that's Irish.
Yeah, with a fucking walking cane.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's two different countries.
Fucking and drinking single malt Scotch whiskey and fucking. He likes bagpipe music and shit. He's fucking and goth music.
He goes to the Highland Games.
Goes to
like
the Highland
year.
Games and all that, And he didn't want to hear any of that. He's like, oh no, you have to have white people. That's where the money's coming from. She's just like, you need paying clientele in here. They love you, Chantel. Fucking, this is who your customers are. Which that made a lot of sense to me, but that didn't really seem to make sense to her. But I think it did. But she was just trolling him, I guess. But,
yeah, I mean, downtown Sanford is. I mean, we call it downtown. It's not. It's very small.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It has like some cool, like if you go down there's some really good restaurants. There's a lot of German restaurants for some reason.
Yeah.
A lot of German restaurants. There's a really good used bookstore.
It's like a little New Orleans.
/ record store. It's like all books downstairs and all like vinyl upstairs, and it's really, really nice.
It's like a little
Maya, I think
miniature.
it's called.
It's like a little miniature New Orleans French Quarter. Except it's German. Partially
large.
German.
It's largely German.
Yeah, it's like a little.
They're in a couple square blocks.
Yeah.
There are, I believe, 3 German restaurants, maybe more, and a German. There's a German restaurant that's attached to like a German grocery store.
Yeah,
situation.
and then there's a soul food restaurant and a Nigerian restaurant.
Yes.
And then
And a lot of bars.
Right, and a lot of bars.
And bars and sports bars.
Yeah. And Big Tom, friend of mine, owns the fucking goth club, and he's a black goth dude, which I've showed pictures of him. He's a big old fucking 6'1" black goth dude married to a Puerto Rican girl. Who has
they're into like 80s new wave.
Yeah.
We met them at iBar years and years and years ago at Saturday nights, which is 80s night.
And he's got 2 sons from his first marriage, and I think they're Anglo. I think the first wife was Anglo-American. She, they're all white to me. His sons to me, they're just like white guys, if you ask me. And they're married to Asian girls. Well, one of them is.
Yeah, they both work at Mannequins.
Yeah, they all work there. They're all good people. It's a good family.
Yeah, they're super nice.
And
they're super nice.
Yeah, and fucking and overnight, within a matter of a fucking year or two, Big Tom made a legendary nightclub. It's known all the way out to here. All the fucking bartenders know it here. Oh, Mannequins, yeah, we've heard of that place. They all know it. It's like a favorite from around here.
Well, as I said, there was nothing like that.
Nothing like it, right?
In downtown Sanford, for sure. Downtown Sanford, there's a lot of restaurants and bars, and like I said, I've been to a couple of the German restaurants down there. I've been to some of the other stuff. There's some nice, cool like coffee shops and shit. So there's some cool shit down there, but all of the bars down there are more like sports bar type things. Sort of like
conventional bullshit.
Yeah, like it's kind of like bro stuff.
You're right. Yeah.
So the fact that Big Tom opened essentially a horror themed bar he plays different things depending on they do like a karaoke night, they do like different themes, but mostly they do goth, industrial, new wave, that kind of some more alternative type stuff, and it seems to be like really successful. I mean, whenever we go, it's usually super packed. Like sometimes, like I said, you get kind of like the bro kind of crowd in there because that's kind of who hangs out in Sanford, and it's annoying. Yeah. But people do really seem to be into it. Yeah. I mean, because like I said, there's nothing else like that in that area. Yeah. If you're downtown Orlando, you have iBar/Barbarella, which is actually moving, but. I
think it's going to move down there, if you ask me.
It might. I'm not sure. Like, John is keeping it secret, real hush-hush.
I got a feeling Tom and John are fucking getting together.
Or him and Scotty might be, because I kind of feel like they might be moving it. Yeah. That was the first thing I thought, too, when I read the interview with him, and he's like, oh, we're moving, and it's 13 miles from our old location.
Like, it's Sanford.
And I was kind of like, I wonder, is he moving it to Sanford? Yeah, Sanford. Like, right by a Mannequins?
That's prime territory. Yeah.
Well, and the thing, too, is that you're going to get all the people that are doing, like, pub crawl type situations. Yeah. So it's going to, like, if people come to Mannequins, they're going to go to that place, and it's like they'll hit both places, like, on Friday night or Saturday night, and that might be a good thing to do.
Tina was laughing at what I said. She goes, maybe brother just like the beat. It's easy to dance to. Yeah. I'm going to give him props either way. If he was trolling, that's a fucking great troll. Hilarious. If he actually liked that, I'll go, okay. But when I see a brother in a decked out white Cadillac fucking bumping fucking Sweet Home Alabama, I'm going to think trolling. That's all they troll. But it was a good one.
Here's the thing.
He didn't have the troll look on his face though. He was about my age. And he was just
okay.
And he was just rolling serious, like sitting with his windows up. He
because that's serious, the thing. I kind of feel like maybe.
But it was a good troll. If that's
to
trolling.
A younger generation, Lynyrd Skynyrd might not have the same stigma.
Maybe
that it has to people of our era.
But he looked to be maybe he might have been younger than me. He might have been about 40.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like maybe it didn't occur to him that this was like a weird thing for him to be listening to.
Yeah.
Or not, or maybe he did, but not to the degree that we would see it as. I mean, to me, like I said, that seems like a troll.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You know, I don't know that dude's life. So
Yeah. Murder Hornets asked me if I've noticed any acne taking tests. No, not at 200 milligrams. I didn't get any. Maybe one or two, but it'd be like in a weird spot, like on a shoulder or something. But no, I didn't notice anything. Now, start throwing in other stuff a little bit. But the thing is I don't do anything aggressive. You know, I've looked at what some of these guys are taking. I'm like, man, that's a fucking lot. And they'll take a lot in a couple months period, and then they'll jump off. And I'm like, dude, man, you weigh 190 pounds and you're taking that. That's kind of like what a guy 240 pounds, 250 pounds ought to be taking, you know. And they kind of go through. I don't know. I haven't seen what you're talking about, Murder Hornets. I mean, you might, if you're getting an occasional fucking red bump here or there. I have to see what extent you're talking about, because he says he's getting some stuff. You don't take that much, as far as I know. I mean, I don't know how much you're taking, but test is not to be used as an anabolic. It's a base for maintenance. You can take anabolics once you're on that. You have to take everything at once, because anabolics will fucking shut down testosterone production in a young male. Well, if you're old, if you're our age, you're taking exogenous testosterone anyway. There's nothing to be shut down because you're injecting it. So since you're taking exogenous hormones, it's now permission. The gate is open. You can go ahead and take anabolic substances because it won't shut you down. You're already shut down, and you're injecting the test that you need. So you're layering it in there on a stack, you know. We're old guys. We can do that. Now look, for you younger people listening to me, you got fucking these teenage fucking dudes doing stupid shit with these fucking steroids and all this shit. You're too young to be on all that stuff. You have decent testosterone production. These dudes like fucking Arnold and fucking Stallone, they had professional advice back with the best advice and the best stuff that they had back in those days, and they're lucky to have fucking made it out of that situation as well as they did, because a lot of guys that they came up with died. They were taking too much and not really knowing how to come off anything. They would just take some steroids and come off of them and then wonder why they got fat. They didn't know anything about PCT or just post-cycle therapies. They didn't know the repercussions for things. Hormones have to be balanced. And the endocrine system doesn't like anything that's fucking abrupt changes, you know. Everything has to be fucking gradual and mellow, and then another thing is you have to work out. The more you work out, the better results you're gonna get. Yeah, you can take that shit and not work out. Your body composition will change a bit, but it's better to work out. You'll get better results. So anyway, back to what you were asking me. You talk to me in private and fucking show me some photographs of exactly what you're talking about, and I'll tell you if that's something you need to worry about or not. You know?
Xanada says they make country rap now, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
You're behind the times.
Yeah.
Well, they have hip hop everything.
They have hip hop.
And honestly, Gramthars says, "Is Sweet Home Alabama the rock anthem of the South?" That'd be Freebird. But
Freebird,
Sweet Home
right.
Alabama,
Yeah.
also by Leonard Skinner, probably number 2 on that list.
And those are huge old school biker songs.
I mean, they have
boomer
not
bikers.
got sick of them after what has it been, 50 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, still not sick of that shit?
Now the younger bikers my age aren't really listening to that too much. They're mostly into the shit like Slipknot and weird. And
I was gonna say they're probably more to like
shit.
90s.
And metal.
Yeah.
And metal.
90s metal and grunge. And shit like
yeah.
that. Danny Rowling says black people listen to a lot of white music nowadays. I kind of feel like they always did, because honestly, a lot of hip hop, which I listened to more of in my teenage years and my 20s, I think, than I do now. But a lot of the samples, particularly like in the 80s and early 90s when they had a lot of sampling, were from pop music from the 70s and 80s.
Another thing I've been noticing, and we have some listeners who fit this demographic, black girls, Gen X and younger, who are metal fans, love metal. They love Metallica, love Old Maiden, and some of the black girls that are listening to this, they're like in their 20s, mid 20s, maybe late 20s, and they're listening to like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest from the 70s and the 80s. Which, that's mind-boggling, but they just fucking
But see,
love
that's
it.
what I was saying before.
Yeah.
That's why you can't tell
Right.
if, you know, like you say, you see a black guy driving around listening to, like, Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yeah.
That might not be ironic. He might actually, because it doesn't have the same stigma. I kind of feel like back in the old days,
Yeah, it was...
the kind of music that you listened to was more...
Right.
compartmentalized.
Yeah, it was different back in our day.
Nowadays, it's kind of like the, you know, younger people that didn't grow up with those divisions. They
Right.
just hear something and they're like, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
They don't really think that there's like some whole like cultural baggage
Right, yeah.
about it, which honestly, I think that's a good thing. It's
probably better, right.
I think that's a good thing.
Right. See, music from... Us being Gen X, music was part of our social media.
Oh, big time.
And
you're
there wasn't a lot of crossover.
No, not really. I
black
mean,
dudes
your
didn't listen to metal.
cliques
Black dudes
were
did not listen to metal.
very much music oriented.
Right. Now, some metal dudes started to listen to rap. I started to like a fucking Public Enemy. I bought Yo Bum Rush the Show, their very first album.
I like Public Enemy
I fucking
also.
liked it. I
liked Ice-T as well.
Yeah.
I saw him live, actually.
Ice-T, he was rap, but that wasn't gangster rap.
Not really.
I liked fucking Public Enemy.
He did Body Count, though.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were talking... I got confused. I thought, you know what? You said Ice-T, and I thought Vanilla Ice. Ice-T was gangster rap, and Body Count was good. I had that album.
You know that I would not have liked Vanilla Ice.
I'm drinking, yeah.
Come on now.
But fucking, for me, Public Enemy was the best one.
Yeah, they were
I
awesome.
fucking love Chuck D and fucking Flav, and he putting on his fucking hype man routine with the fucking clock, you know, what time it is, you know, like, because the clock is to tell you what time it is, you know, and all the symbolism and the fucking black nationalism going on in it, and fucking, you know, fucking references to fucking Farrakhan, and, you know, me being white, fucking totally out of that loop. But I understood the spirit behind it. I was like, yeah, fucking right. You know what I mean? You know, it just pull you right into it. It was, and another thing that I really liked about that era of rap is that it was homemade. There weren't any corporations involved. It was dudes making their own music, so it was a lot more authentic. As soon as the mainstream music industry started to get involved and money started
Well,
to get
that happens. It's happened with punk. It happened with anything that's like good and like grassroots and stuff.
Right.
Once like some money people get involved,
Yeah.
it's not quite as good anymore.
Then they start sampling classic fucking shit from Annie, you know, a musical Annie, you know, fucking Hard Knocks Life, and I'm going, women, no, this dude from the hood, he does not have that cultural reference. A white dude knew that song. That's who made that music. And this, and you know that there's outside input to try to make a fake product. 80s rap was the best rap, if you ask me. And then some of the 90s stuff, man, fucking, I was a huge fan of Cypress Hill. I liked it, which is
They were
fucking,
also good, yeah.
Yeah, and that was Chicano rap. They were really good. Now, a rap band came out. They were black dudes, and they were from California, and it was an experimental rap band called New Kingdom. And I had one of their albums. I fucking loved it. It was called Paradise Don't Come Cheap. I think that's what it was called. Paradise Don't Come Cheap. I think it was called. And that album is badass. It's probably on YouTube, called New Kingdom, and it was Southwest Desert rap. And there's a bunch of fucking Jimi Hendrix fucking mixed into it, and harmonica with blues and gangster rap, and that was for me, that was
See, I love the hybrid shit. I love that
yeah,
shit.
for me that was one of the best rap bands, and total flop. Nobody liked it. It was experimental. But for me the two best rap bands of all times are Public Enemy and New Kingdom. I just thought they were great.
Yeah, I don't think I ever heard that, actually.
Yeah, New Kingdom was really good. It was desert rap.
But that sounds intriguing.
Black dudes in the desert going way down south across the border, just like Jimi Hendrix Jimi Hendrix on a horse with a holster on his poster. Fucking, you know what I'm talking about? Fucking, remember that old poster of fucking Jimi Hendrix? fucking yeah.
All right, I like that. I like that.
They're
angle.
driving
I
through
like
the
that.
desert in their car, and the fucking harmonica going, Yeah, really good. You'd like it.
Like I said, it
They're
sounds.
talking about
it sounds
smuggling
good.
things from across the border and the Southwest.
good.
Fucking yeah.
No need for me too. Thank you very much. Check out Warren Zevon's Werewolves of London.
Yeah, we know it. We know it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same damn song as Sweet Home Alabama. Honestly, yeah. Now that you mention it,
Warren Zevon had a bunch of good stuff. You know what I mean?
He did, yeah.
My favorite song that he did was fucking "Rollin' the Headless Thompson Gunner."
That's a good
song. Yeah.
That's a good song.
Yeah.
DJ Maniac says Public Enemy was an industrial band with rappers, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, and I kind of feel like
it was like
late
Skinny
80s,
Puppy.
early 90s, that was kind of like the heyday of the hip-hop industrial metal crossover. Man, there was so much of that shit going on.
Yeah.
Some of it not so good, I will admit, but a lot of it actually was really good.
T talking about her favorite rap bands. T, go ahead and open another window, click over, go into YouTube, and go look for New Kingdom. Paradise Don't Come Cheap. And listen to that. And get back to
my creepy
go
phone's
to the restroom.
my creepy phone's ringing again.
You would love that album, T.
Yeah, Beastie Boys were early genre benders. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like, I don't know. It was just, the reason that I still, like, return again and again to mid to late 70s, early 80s was because the whole punk and post-punk era, to me, that was, like, the last big thing where everyone was like, everything was on the table. You could take anything and mix it with anything, and you would find an audience for that. You would find a receptive audience. Maybe not a massive audience, obviously, but like I said, you could mix anything. You could do like fucking just I don't know, like everything, man. You could like fucking take look at fucking Klaus Nomi. I'm gonna mix new wave and opera, and it fucking worked. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, well, I don't know. Maybe you could do that nowadays and people would be like, all right. But nobody had really done that in that time period. And that's kind of a little bit what makes me sad nowadays, is that I feel like so much shit was done back then that nowadays people do new shit and like mix up stuff and everything. But now you're just kind of like, oh, well, somebody already did that, like in the 70s or 80s. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be one of those old people that's like, oh, everything's been done, because I'm sure it hasn't. But I do kind of feel like the late 70s, early 80s was kind of like the last big creative explosion where people were fusing things together that hadn't previously been done. So you kind of saw some shit that hadn't been done prior. And now everyone's just kind of going back to that because that was like such a fertile, like, creative period. But as I said, I don't like to be one of those people that's like, oh, everything's been done, because there'll be new things all the time. There'll be new things, new technologies that you can, manifest in certain ways, and we don't know how that's going to turn out. So, I don't want to be like that. Danny Rolling says I only like Ice-T's wife.
Yeah, fucking, what's her name? Coco? Yeah, she's cute. Yeah.
Ice-T was in that Tide Cold commercial just the other day. Him and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Gordon Ramsay. I saw that, like, I was watching something on Tubi, and I'm like, they really got all these motherfuckers in one fucking Tide commercial. Good job.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that's the thing. Like, DJ Maniac talking about the kind of hip-hop and industrial crossover. Honestly, I went to the first Lollapalooza in 1991, was it? 1991.
Yeah.
And I went to it in Atlanta. And the bands, it was just it was a really fascinating time capsule of the time period. So I think the bands it was the Butthole Surfers, it was the Rollins Band, it was Susie and the Banshees, Living Color, Jane's Addiction, 9 Inch Nails. Who the fuck else was on that shit? God damn it. I feel like there were a couple other bands, but I can't remember. It was so hot that day, I got like fucking heat stroke. Because they always had that shit in the summer. One of the things that I remember, I might have brought this up on the show before, when they had the Lollapalooza in 1994, because I went to the first one in 1991 in Atlanta. 1994, they announced that they were actually going to do one in DeLand, Florida, which was only about 20 minutes from where I grew up in Daytona, and I was so excited. Because on the 1994 roster was fucking Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Also L7, which I was a big fan of.
I remember them.
And I was so jazzed. I had my fucking tickets, I had everything, and I was just kind of like, we had everything packed up. Me and my brother and a couple of our other friends were going to go. And the morning of the show, we woke up, and it had rained overnight, and the Volusia County Fairgrounds, where they were holding it, had flooded, and they couldn't set the stage up, so they canceled it. So that was my one and only time, probably, to ever get to see Nick Cave live. And, man, I'm still not over that. And that was like 1994. I still haven't seen Nick Cave live. I think he's the only... No, that's not true. I was going to say he's the only one that I wanted to see live that I never got to. I never got to see The Fall live, and I can't now because Marquis Smith died a couple years ago. Never got to see Duran Duran live. We were going to go a couple years ago, but it was too fucking expensive.
That's the album I was talking about, T. And it's on YouTube and Google. You can watch, or Songify. You can watch it for free, or you can listen to Spotify. You can
Songify.
I thought it said Songify.
You know, like such a grandpa.
Spotify. Okay. Yeah, it's for free. You can listen to it. That's a fucking absolutely awesome fucking rap album. Really good. Let's see if I can see what the band looks like. That's what they look like. That was part of the reason why they didn't fly is because they were just cutting across genres, but the quality is really good. Really good.
You're always gonna have a harder row to hoe when you're doing crossover genres that don't normally go together.
Yeah.
That's any creative endeavor, whether it's movie making, music, anything.
Yeah.
They're
doing rap with retro fucking 1960s car racing motifs and stuff, you know, like from Bullet.
They understood all of the references. So I just thought it was just culturally just real important, artistically. Classic. I can't understand why it didn't work. Although if you read the comment sections on that album in YouTube, people are talking about what a masterpiece that album is and how stupid people are.
Well, like I said, it's a lot of things. It's always about timing, and it's always about marketing. It's always about a lot of things. Well, I mean, we've talked about that on some of our movie review shows. Sometimes you'll see a movie, and I'm like, God damn, that was like brilliant. And for whatever reason, it just didn't hit at the right time, or they didn't market it right, or something.
It was experimental, and it was ahead of its time, and it was brilliant. And for some reason, the market wanted something dumber.
Zach says, can we also appreciate the fact that Ice-T is a really good actor, too?
Yeah,
he is. He is, actually.
Well, he's kind of a genius in a lot of ways. He knows how, he knows how to manage himself, his image on television. Well, he's kind of from another era, but he's good. He's a good dude. He's entertaining. Everybody likes him.
I mean, I never got to meet him. I saw him live a few times, but I never got to meet him. But I have a friend that met him and talked to him extensively and said he was like a super, super nice dude. So Tila's bringing up Living Color. Honestly, Living Color were great.
They were good.
They were fantastic live too. Fantastic.
They were good metal.
I saw them at Lollapalooza. No Need for Me Too says never really got into Fishbone. I actually quite like Fishbone. They weren't my favorite, but yeah. Cheryl says, I love Henry Rollins. I could listen to him talk forever. Yeah, Henry Rollins, very cool. He's in a lot of movies, too. Not an actor, but he's kind of like a personality. That's, I guess, like Flea. Like, Flea turns up in a lot of movies, too. But, yeah. Let's see.
T says she added that one. Yeah, you're going to like that one, T. Yeah. Think Southwest. All right. Dudes out in the desert. That's their new kingdom. From what they're saying, they've moved out into the fucking Southwest desert, and that's just the motif of that album and survival in the desert. And
I feel like every subgenre has its desert subgenre.
Yeah.
Even goth has that. Look at like Fields of the Nephilim and shit like that. Where it's like, hey, we're all dressing up like dusty ass cowboys.
Dusty cowboys surviving in the fucking Southwest desert.
In the wasteland.
In the wasteland.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Thank you again, Tila. Favorite albums of all times, y'all.
Oh, shit. Well, you can grab that one right there, Jen.
This one right here?
First and last and always.
I don't know if you... Oh, look, I have this on vinyl, bitches.
Yeah, on vinyl. This is Tom's favorite albums of all times. That is the best album ever made. It's by the Sisters of Mercy, and not all their albums are good. Some of their albums I don't like at all.
I mean, they don't have a lot. So.
But this is this album is the best album ever made, and most people don't know it. And there's the Sisters. All right. And another thing that's weird. Does it have the inner jacket? Oh, you don't have the original inner jacket. The original inner jacket would show was right outside St. Andrews Hall in Detroit.
Yeah,
where it said Detroit's famous adult
I'm
theaters.
not sure what year that's from.
That's the best album. That's the best album that's ever been made. And now. Oh shit! Yeah. Okay.
You messed it up.
T, you would like that album too. It's called the Sisters of Mercy, First and Last and Always.
Oh shit! Get up there and fucking fix that. I had all this, like I said, I was rearranging stuff, and it stayed until we.
Just leave it like that.
No.
Okay. Oh, it's gonna slide.
Yeah.
I've had people direct message me over the years. People who don't know anything about goth music direct message me saying, "Tom, I listened to that album and I can't stop listening to that album."
I mean, it's just a good rock album.
Because you are right, that is the best album ever fucking made. If you play that shit in a car, that's it. You're gonna be playing that shit in a car for fucking years. That album. It's just the best album ever made. And now, after that, there's a bunch of other ones that are the best for different reasons. Some of them are just artistic reasons. Like, there's some prog rock albums out there that are just like, man, that's a fucking badass album, like Dark Side of the Moon, but anybody knows that one. I like metal, too. There's some Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd metal, or metally. I think it's metal, I think is what it's called. Or Echoes, that's what it was called. Echoes is the name of that album. It had the whale song in it. Those are both two real good albums. But there's so much good stuff, you know.
That's what I mean. It's almost kind of like, if I ever had to pick like my top 10 favorite albums, I'd be fucking screwed. That would just be like trying to pick my top 10 favorite movies. I don't think I could do it. John Gora says Michael Jackson's Thriller, Sorry Not Sorry. Don't be sorry, that's a good album.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best pop albums of all time.
Cheryl has some good picks. Operation Ivy, Debut, Tool, Lateralis, Bauhaus, Mask. That would also be in my top 10.
Mask is a real good one.
9 Inch Nails, Downward Spiral, another good one. Bowie, Station to Station.
Yeah, Station to Station.
Low's my favorite, but Station to Station.
I like Station to Station.
Fucking awesome too.
The return of the thin white duke, throwing darts in lovers' eyes. Remember that shit?
And she also chooses Michael Jackson Thriller.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's a good all-around album. I didn't like it at the time it came out, but I appreciated it later. I think when I wasn't such a cranky little goth teen, I got more into stuff. I don't know. God.
Okay.
Joy Division, Closer.
Closer. Yeah.
I mean, that album is just like a whole
that's a whole world
mood.
right
It's
there.
a whole world into itself where you just go into it. It's like this wintry, bleak. I just love the whole vibe of that. I love the whole vibe.
I would put on Closer in Boston in the winter when it was snowing on the car radio, and that shit made so much fucking sense, man.
And like I said, I read somewhere a very long time ago when I was a teenager, and they said this is the best album to listen to with no other sensory stimuli.
Yeah.
Like no light, no other sound, no anything. And so I did that one time. I blacked out all the curtains and like listened to it just like without any other distractions, and it was just kind of like, it sends you to like another place, man. Like I said, it's like it's a whole vibe. Yeah. It's a whole thing.
I'm gonna show the album cover art for Closer. If you guys, this is definitely, fuck, man.
Also, gotta say, some of my other... I'm trying to think of my other favorites. I mean, Closer's probably my favorite.
That's what the cover of Closer looks like. It's funerary art. All right. And that's from Savannah, Georgia, isn't it? Isn't it
I think it is, yeah, actually.
There's a famous... my friend Melissa went and took a bunch of pictures of her, gothed out pictures in that cemetery. It's in Savannah, Georgia. But the Closer album cover... Let me see. There, that's what the cover looks like. It's got a border around it. Get focus. Focus.
Well, you're messing up the lighting.
It just says Closer. All right.
I have that font on my computer.
Yeah. Now
and it's called JD Closer
right.
font.
So first and last and always, and Joy Division Closer. Man, that's a good album. It's spooky. Still cold sounding album with lyrics that are real deep. It sounds like this ancient old man telling you this wisdom from across the ages of the sorrows of the world and the suffering. You find out this is a fucking 19-year-old kid fucking singing this to you.
Well, I mean, I think he was 22.
22?
Maybe.
Yeah. But he just sounds...
Well, he died when he was 23.
Yeah, he killed
died
himself
at 23,
afterwards,
yeah.
but he just...
Before that even came out.
He's just real epic, you know, real epic.
Which is funny because if you know anything about their history, in person, he was nothing like that. Like, you
Right.
wouldn't suspect, like, he was just a regular bloke, as they would
Yeah.
say in the UK. You know, he just hung out and drank and made jokes and shit like that, like a regular dude. But when he sang, he sounded like fucking... I don't even know what the fuck. He sounded like he was channeling like some fucking ancient wisdom from somewhere. I don't know.
He was.
Yeah, I don't know
He
what
was.
the fuck that was all
He was
about.
standing back looking at it.
Yeah,
Looking
that
at
was some crazy
looking at the
shit.
weird shit, the way life is. Where are the young men, the weight on their shoulders?
I do love that record. That's probably, I mean, honestly, probably my favorite. Like I said, I'm into Bauhaus too. Mask is my favorite just because it's so diverse. I like that they experimented with, you know, they did goth, they did metal, they did reggae, they did all, but it all kind of like works together.
Yeah.
And I think that was good. I like their other albums too, but they're a little more hit or miss.
Yeah.
I gotta give some love to Echo and the Bunnymen.
Yeah.
Ocean Rain.
Yeah.
I fucking love that album. I think I played it so many times. I had it on vinyl, and I played it so many times that it wore out. So I bought it again.
Graham says, Steve Rouse, friend of ours, we went to high school, introduced me to metal. Whenever I hear Fearless, I think of old times. Yeah. And then the fucking song Echoes with the whale song. It's a whole side of a whole album, Pink Floyd album. That's a great album. And then Samus, talking about the dog that's outside, Samus. That's just a good album. Is it epic? Yeah, it's epic in the prog rock sense. But for me, so far, I'd put it the top 5. First and last and always. And from Sisters of Mercy. Joy Division's Closer.
I return to that one, I think, more than any other album.
And then after that would probably be a Susie album. Something probably kind of like...
I like Tinderbox.
Tinderbox, yeah.
But I know that's maybe not the consensus,
Right.
but Tinderbox is my favorite of theirs.
Yeah, not all the songs on it are great, though. Some of them are kind of... It's a good album, though. What if it was something more along the lines of number 3 probably ought to be...
I mean,
something...
Juju, also great.
There was some Switchblade albums that were fucking great. They were an epic album, but they're not... They're kind of forgotten. Like, what was that fucking Switchblade album that had the damn trip-hop sound to it? I think it was their last album.
I can't remember. I only had a couple of their older
Crumpets
ones.
or Tea and... I forgot.
I only had a couple of their older ones.
Yeah. Shit. But those first 2 are solid, though. What would number 3 be?
I don't know.
Mask?
I mean, yeah, I already said that. As
But would
as
Mask
one of
be
mine.
number 3?
Well, what are you asking me for? This is your favorites.
Don't be that way.
Well, I don't know
I'm just
why.
trying to say number 3. We're trying to think what the third best album would be. What would come next?
Well, I'm going to say, and Mango just said, the Grinder Band albums are great. Yes, they are. And honestly, like I said, another album I return to a lot, and because you guys know, I love Nick Cave, right? I love Nick Cave. I love The Birthday Party. I love Grinder Man. If I had to pick a favorite Nick Cave album, I don't think I could, because it depends on whatever mood I'm in. Usually, it's either From Her to Eternity, rather, or Henry's Dream. Or sometimes Let Love In. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm in a more bluesy mood, then Firstborn is Dead. Okay. But, you know what I mean? So there's that. And Birthday Party, I'm going to say the Mutiny EP. Not a lot of songs on it, but they're all amazing. So there's that.
All right. Then me and Jenny are going to kind of hold on. We're going to kind of diverge.
Well, like I said, we're not going to come up with the same...
It's not going to be the same.
Yeah, because I like some different shit to what you like. I mean, we like a lot of the same stuff. But you're not real into Nick Cave, and I am.
Yeah, I'm not really into that. My third favorite album, I'm going to show you guys the fucking album cover. Okay. The third favorite album after the other two is this one. Oh, shit, what? These bitches? Okay. The hell?
I don't know.
All right. This one right here.
Number 3 would be Judas Priest, Sad Wings of Destiny, which is a 1970s metal album that is one of the best fucking albums ever. It's great. It's a really good album.
Thank you again, Tila. Okay, here's the last one, she says. Name a song or group that people will be surprised that you really love. Be honest, y'all. So many.
Oh, man.
Okay, I like a lot of 50s rockabilly. I particularly like Jerry Lee Lewis. So there's that. I like a lot of Elvis. I like Roy Orbison. I like that kind of stuff. I like a lot of show tunes. I like a lot of 70s disco. Honestly, somebody mentioned Amy Winehouse. I fucking love Amy Winehouse. She's rad. I have a couple of her albums, actually. So, I'm not real... Like I said, I'm a very, 80s post-punk... Not just 80s, but I like anything that has, like, that post-punk sound to it. And I like a lot of... just regular punk as well, from the old days and new shit. Although I don't really like the pop punk thing so much. Mm-hmm. That's not really my thing. I do like some of it, but most of it's kind of eh. But honestly, anything that's good, I don't know. I like a lot of stuff that's kind of like, I even like weird shit like Tom Jones and stuff like that. I like stuff that's like theatrical, That's why I like kind of like show tunes and stuff. I'm into that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anything that's kind of like over the top and like, as long as it's not too schmaltzy.
Cheryl's making fun of the Tom. Of course, would pick Judas Priest. No, I'm a huge. I like good Judas Priest. Not all Judas Priest was great. Some of the '70s stuff, some of the '80s stuff, some of the '90s stuff, some of the newer stuff, but not all of it. It's just like anything else. There's a lot of hit and miss. You know what I mean? But Rob Halford, he's fucking great. He's God, metal God. He actually trademarked that name. Fucking Sophie was down there watching him live, sending me fucking clips from his show, and he's like, "Man, this dude's awesome." And I said, "Well, of course, that's God." She goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "People call him God, metal God." And she checked it out and goes, "Yeah, Rob Halford's fucking nickname is God."
Yeah, I'm Metal God TM.
Metal God TM or God. Motherfucker can sing. And even though he's in his 70s doing a damn Fred G. Sanford fucking moves, because he can't dance like he could.
Dummy.
He can't dance anymore, but he can fucking still sing.
He's old. Give him a break.
70-something. He's fucking great. And he fucking loves the crowd that they come and see him and shit. But, check out those 3 albums right there. Check out Sad Wings of Destiny. I think that was 1972 or 73. And just a lot of soul in those albums. A lot of fucking metal soul. Real good. But Yeah. What was your last question?
Talking about a song or group that people will be surprised. That
Okay,
you love.
all right, I can answer that.
I have so many things. So many things.
One that people probably wouldn't think I fucking love. I'm a huge fan of Bananarama. I fucking love Banana. British call it Bananarama. That was like the original fucking British girl band.
Bananarama are awesome.
But unlike a fucking Menudo and bullshit like that, Bananarama were kind of self-made. They made those songs and those dance routines, and that it was real low budget when it started. By the time the late '80s came around, you know, they did a really good cover of fucking Venus. You know.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah.
I love
they were
that.
just these cute fucking British girls that fucking singing and dancing. But I really know them more from like the era of fucking, you know, Robert De Niro's Waiting. That fucking good song like that. And fucking, what was...
Cruel Summer is a fucking great song.
Yeah, Cruel Summer, yeah.
That's a great song.
And, yeah, all their old stuff, you know.
John Gora says, I love me some one-hit wonders like Spandau Ballet's True. That's a good song.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot... The 80s, I kind of feel like that was the golden era of the one-hit wonder. Although, a lot of them were just one-hit wonders in the U.S. Because I do kind of feel like sometimes... Like, okay, for example... In the U.S., people would consider Gary Newman's Cars, that's like his one-hit wonder, because that was like a big success. But in the U.K., he had like a bunch of other hits, and if you're in the goth scene, he's still going, and he has like a lot of really good albums. But yeah, all that stuff like fucking Nena, 99 Red Balloons, I love that fucking song. Like all the 80s like one-hit wonders, like fucking great. I love all that. Dexy's Midnight Runners, all that kind of stuff. I love it.
It's like, what did Bananarama sing? And Cruel Summer added to the playlist. Yeah.
Cruel Summer.
See Cruel Summer, see Venus. Watch
Venus, which is a cover,
Venus.
but it's a good cover though.
Venus is good. What else did they do? They did...
What's that other fucking... they had more than that.
I'm gonna look real quick.
Yeah, look it up, because I can't remember.
Cruel Summer was actually off their second album, I think.
Yeah, that was like an older one. And then they got a little bit more successful later on. But, yeah, I think DJ Maniac said ABBA. Yeah, I'm kind of... I like ABBA, honestly. When I was a kid, I was really into that song SOS. I did like a whole dance routine to it and everything. Annie Lennox, some people are bringing up. Yeah,
they did. I heard a rumor.
Remember that's right. Yeah.
They did Na Na Hey Hey Kiss 'Em Goodbye.
That's also a cover. Yeah, but that was good too.
They did Love in the First Degree. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Okay.
They had a lot of hits and a lot of albums.
They did actually. Cheryl says, "I love that song Walk Like an Egyptian from the '80s." Who was that?
Yeah.
That was the Bangles, actually.
Yeah.
Why do I remember? I remember every fucking thing from the '80s. I was watching a lot of MTV at the time. It was the Bangles.
Yeah.
The Bangles had some great songs too, to be honest with you. I didn't Walk Like an Egyptian. I liked it at the time. I liked it less later. But they did Manic Monday. Although Prince wrote that, did he not? I'm pretty sure Prince wrote that song.
That was Bananarama. What? Fucking maybe 82.
With all their little overalls.
Yeah, little overalls in there.
Fixing cars.
Yeah. Yeah, that was them. They were a good band. They were kind of like the girlfriends to a lot of... I think one of them... Okay, have you ever seen the video, Come On Eileen, from
Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Midnight Runners. The girl that he's singing to is Siobhan Fahey's sister.
Yeah.
Siobhan was one of the girls out of this band.
They
all
like,
knew each other.
Well, didn't they shoot off into, like, Shakespeare's sister later?
Siobhan left and then ended up joining
they had a band called
Shakespeare's Sisters,
which was named after a Smiths song. Yeah, actually. Right. Yeah. Which I think that was another album I forgot to mention. As much as Morrissey like turned into a douche into his old age, but I still love the Smiths. Queen is Dead, probably my favorite, but again, it depends on what mood I'm in. Some days I'm like, ooh, I really like the first album the best. Some days I really like Meat is Murder the best. Queen is Dead, I think, is the most consistently good. But like I said, it's like Nick Cave albums. They're all good, and it's kind of like it just depends on whatever mood you're in.
Shakespeare's Sister actually came out with a new album, and they still fucking look great. Look great. They're in their 60s by now, easily.
Yeah, they got to be like our age at least. Well, they were older than us when,
they were older
when
than
their
us,
band
so
was out.
Be in their fucking 70s, maybe.
So they're probably like fucking we're old as shit. So
probably like our parents' age. They might be 70s.
Which is crazy.
But that's...
you want to see Shakespeare's Sister, the fucking video called Stay. And
they play that at iBar
that was mid 90s, maybe about 94, I think.
Might have been earlier.
Maybe a little bit earlier.
Maybe early.
That's
90s.
a good album. I have it. And then fucking Siobhan shows up as the fucking spirit of death and shit and starts singing crazy shit. Let me see. Our internet's kind of slow because of all the connections. There he is. And Siobhan shows up doing her thing. I think that might have been 93. Yeah. Yeah.
Danny Rolling brings up Taco, putting on the Ritz.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
Yeah.
That was another one-hit wonder. There were a lot in the 80s that were actually really good. Do you know what? I don't know why I just thought of this one. Do you remember the song Jeopardy by Greg Kihn Band?
Yeah,
I remember really being
remember.
into that video because, I mean, it's super, super cheap. They made it for like $10. But it was like a monster movie, kind of. But a really, really cheap one. But I don't know. Like I was kind of like into it. It's a good song. I think like it was popular enough that Weird Al even did a parody of it about the game show Jeopardy. Even though the original song was just not about the game show. It was just about being in danger in general. Safety Dance. I still unequivocally and unashamedly love that song. So sorry. I do. Honestly, and somebody says Wham. Honestly, I also unironically love Wham. If they play Wham like fucking Wake Me Up Before You Go or some shit at like fucking iBar, I'm totally dancing to that. I mean, if I'm a little bit inebriated, I will totally dance to that. It's a good song. That's a good song. So I kind of feel like, and I think I brought this up before, a few years ago, there was a commercial, and I can't remember what the commercial was for. It might have been for like Woolite Dark or something for washing black clothes. And there was, or no, I think it was for a beer, actually, like a dark beer, maybe.
Yeah. They're talking about...
And what?
Oh, no, they're talking about fucking Bananarama, and Mila Jovovich was... her band was Shakespeare's Sister and everything, and Tila's fucking saving that. You would like it, Tila. Shakespeare's Sister was very, like, happy and upbeat and kind of... but it was also kind of had a kind of an underground vibe to it. It was a good mix. They did do mainstream shit, but it was kind of like punk rock girls in a certain way doing it.
Sorry, John Goris just brought up Weird Al, and I was just kind of like, I thought I would
make another drink.
I thought I would put that's right here in my little album collection that I have going here. I'm like scared to move them because I moved it before and it just like all fell over. Like I said, I just rearranged in here the other day. But yeah, so there was a commercial. And I loved it because it showed like the outside of a goth club, and there were all these like really grouchy looking goths, as you would, you stand out waiting in line and be like, fuck off. So everybody's like looking all pissed off. And like some bro people are like walk by and they're just like, man, we want to go in here. Everybody looks like they're all like dour and shit. And then they show the inside of the goth club, and it's playing Wham's Wake Me Up Before You Go, and all the goths are like dancing and they're like happy and stuff. I'm like, accurate. That's accurate. And it's just like the first time I saw that commercial, I just laughed and laughed and laughed. I was like, somebody like me made this commercial. It's like fucking funny. Oh my god. Yeah, so we're talking about Jeopardy.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm a big fan of Weird Al, to be honest. I have Dare to Be Stupid. I had Weird Al Yankovic in 3D, which had, because I don't know if people know, but Weird Al, he also, I mean, he did his parody songs, which were hilarious, but he also did a lot of originals. My favorite of those, I think, was on Weird Al in 3D, and it was called Nature Trail to Hell. And it was a song about a trailer, about a slasher movie, about a bunch of Boy Scouts who go to a camp and then get murdered one by one, and it was hysterical. I still remember that fucking song. I might still have the album over here somewhere. But like I said, I'm kind of like afraid to pull them out because everything's gonna fucking fall down. No Need for Me Too. It's like Frankie Two Tribes video. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, Frankie Goes to Hollywood. That's another one. The song Relax. I actually still have that on my phone, and will listen to it sometimes when I'm working out. Same with Pop Music by M. I really, really like that song. Like, again, not ashamed. I have that on my phone also. I'm trying to think of like all the 80s ones that I have on my phone. My Sharona, pretty sure that's on there by the Nam. I like a lot of those fucking cheesy ass 80s songs. I really do. And I like them more now that I'm older. Like, I liked them at the time, but I was kind of more into... I mean, you know, in the 80s, I was really into, like, Duran Duran, and then I got into, like, Joy Division and The Smiths and Depeche Mode and, you know, Bauhaus and Alien Sex Fiend and stuff, and so the new wave stuff, like, went a little bit on the back burner, but I still, like, really did like a lot of that stuff. And honestly, like, the older I get, the more I was like, man, that was a good fucking song. Noting It For Me Too says that I have over 30 gigs of music on my phone, yeah. The Weird Al Goth song. I want to hear Nick Cave cover that one. He covered, what was that song by Pulp? What was it called? Disco 2000 or whatever? Nick Cave did a cover of that, which was pretty hilarious. I have that somewhere on my phone also. He does, honestly, I don't know if you guys know, but Nick Cave did 2 songs on this, what the fuck was the name of that album? I don't have the whole album, I just have his songs off of it. But it was a whole album of different bands covering pirate sea shanties. Because the second I saw that, and then I was like, oh, Nick Cave's got to be on the... Oh, of course. Nick Cave did 2 songs on there. He did Pinery Boy and Fire Down Below. And I got both of those songs, and they're both amazing. Amazing.
Another band these motherfuckers have forgotten that I liked, that I'd probably be fucking say like nobody would ever think I'd like them, is I fucking liked Army of Lovers.
Oh yeah, every time that comes on at
I fucking love
Ibar, he's like, yay!
Yeah, it's the gayest shit of all time. It is the gayest shit of all. Yeah, Crucified.
Sorry,
Yeah, fucking T. Go fucking go. Put that on your list. Army of Lovers, Crucified, and the video is fucking off the chain. I've had a couple of their albums.
It's pretty great. I guess it's pretty great.
I had a couple of their albums. They didn't make great albums, but they did make great videos and good songs. Some of the songs were good on them, but the albums weren't that good. But fucking Army of Lovers was the shit. They were from Sweden. Sweden, or was it Denmark? I think it was Sweden.
I can't. Yeah, somewhere.
And it was kind of techno, kind of poppy, and and it had kind of. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, don't get it demonetized. But
yeah. Okay.
DJ Maniac says Common People. Yeah, I like the Pulp version of Common People, but that wasn't the one that Nick Cave covered. I think it was Disco 2000.
Okay. Oh, gotta get
Cheryl also says, unpopular opinion, I really don't like Metallica. I'm not a huge fan of Metallica either, gotta say. They don't really seem all that distinctive to me. Maybe that's just
when
me.
they first appeared.
Well, yeah, they were then.
When they first
but
appeared.
Then I was just kind of like, hey.
For the beginning part of their career, they ended up kind of being commercial.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of when... Right. DJ Maniac says, "Oh, Army of Lovers Crucify video got me through my teenage years."
Yeah, that is.
It's a great video.
That is sucking Army of Lovers. It is gay as shit, but but it is fucking awesome. It's fucking epic. That's La Camilla. Yeah. I'm crucified like my savior. And I could dance like a crazy. When that shit comes on and I'm fucking loaded at the car, I start fucking dancing like that. And it just, man, the energy starts fucking flying. And the video is not that great, but the song is fucking really good. Yeah.
What's that other song that you like that I can't stand, that French one?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
God, I'm so fucking over that song.
Because it's in French.
Yeah, I'm so over that song.
Yeah.
Sorry, I saw something else that I wanted to.
Who said the fucking Crucified got them through their years? DJ Maniac. Yeah.
Cheryl says, my man sucks. He only likes industrial. So frustrating.
No, I like
How can you live like that? Yeah, honestly, I kind of like. I'm kind of like movies like that too. I'm just kind of like, if it's good, I don't give a shit what genre it is. Yeah. Just, give me something to get. Obviously, I have my preferences, just like I do with movies. Yeah, I prefer to watch horror movies, but I'll watch anything, just like music. If it's good, I'll listen to it. I don't give a shit what
I guess Tila's listening to fucking the Army of Lovers. It reminds me of the group that sings "Spin Me Right Round," baby.
Yeah, Dead or Alive, Dead or Alive.
Yeah, it is kind of. Well, I don't know if you're listening to it or if you're just looking at it, Tila, because that one guy looks like that dude.
He does a bit.
But the sound is a lot different.
Pete Burns, that guy's name was. From Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Cheryl says the Cramps. Oh my god, now you're speaking my language. Oh my god, I fucking love the Cramps. Honestly, every now and then, not often enough in my opinion, but every now and then, if we're at iBar, which is called Barbarella now, he'll play What's Inside a Girl. That's pretty much the only Cramp song he played. I think he played Bikini Girls with Machine Guns a couple times. But normally, if he's going to play the Cramps, he plays What's Inside a Girl, which is fine with me, because that's an awesome song. But once every few months, he'll play it, and I just get all kind of excited when that happens, because he just never plays it otherwise. It's just kind of like when I get excited when he plays, like, Alien Sex Fiend, I Walk the Line. Which, again, maybe once every 6 months or so, but I get excited when it happens. John Gora says B-52s were a great band. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like, a massive fan, but yeah, I really do like the B-52s, and honestly, the dude from B-52s... Every time that he plays here, every time that they played here,
Comes to club, yeah.
he comes to iBar.
Yeah.
So because he knows John, the owner.
He was standing right behind me. I didn't know who he was.
So we've seen him. I've seen him like lots of times.
Yeah.
Every time they're in town, he's always at iBar.
I didn't even know who he was. He was standing right behind us, remember?
Yeah.
I didn't even know who that dude was.
Well,
Didn't recognize him.
like I said, I had seen him there.
Yeah.
Fred Schneider, his name is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just thought of his song "Monster." There's a monster in my pants, and that was like early '80s. But yeah, he hangs out there all the time, so I'd seen him there like multiple times. That's the thing about iBar is that whatever band is playing there, if they're kind of like a new wave or punk or post-punk kind of band, normally after their show you'll see them at iBar because everybody went to iBar like after, even the bands.
Yeah.
So. But Fred Schneider was like, he's a friend of
our friends.
John Gardner,
Yeah.
who owns the place. So he would always, whenever the B-52s or he was in town, they would always be there. Rock Lobster. They play a lot of B-52s at that club. A lot of B-52s.
He's also friends with fucking Zymox.
That's right.
Also knows Clan of Zymox. They're really good. Actually, T would probably like them. T, go look for a band called fucking Clan of Zymox.
They're Dutch, yes?
They're Dutch. ZXYMOX. Zymox. They're really good. They're really good.
I kind of feel like they were more goth rock in the 80s and 90s, and then they went like in a little more industrial direction.
Yeah.
Which was fine. I mean, it was still good, but I think I like their older shit, like Jasmine and Rose and stuff like that, better.
Yeah. They came to the club, fucking played in a little small venue. We were jamming out. They're good. They're good. Let me see if I can find some fucking Zymox, what they look like.
Murder Hornet Return says Obsession. If you're talking about the Animotion song, I'm going to like categorically get it because honestly, I love 80s music. For whatever reason, that fucking Animotion song rubs me the wrong goddamn way.
Yeah.
So every time, even back in the 80s, I was just kind of like, nope. I don't know what it is about that one particular song that I really can't stand, but there's something about it. So every time they play it, I'm just kind of like, nope, I'm going to the bathroom. Bye. I think I hate that one worse than the French one. I mean, the French one at least has some, like that hot girl in it that you can look at.
She's an old French porn star.
Which, I'm like, okay, well, I can be mollified by that. The Animotion video just has terrible people wearing terrible 80s clothes with terrible 80s hair and a terrible synthy-ass song that rubs me the wrong way,
That's Clan of Zymox. They're real good. Oh, shit. They're really good. XYMOX. They've been around forever. Forever. It started off, the band's name was called Zymox, and then it became Clan of Zymox later. But it's kind of like gothic, industrial, but it's not hard. It's almost kind of ambient and poppy sounding in some certain ways. It's just very addictive, real smooth. It's good.
Yeah, I kind of feel like their older stuff sounded almost like, I don't want to say it sounded kind of like Sisters of Mercy, more like the Mission UK.
Yeah.
That kind of area.
Kinda.
Not exactly the same, but that kind of area. Danny Rolling says it's Danzig wig time.
Really? Okay.
DJ Maniac asked, Plastic Birch. No, that's not the one I'm talking about. It's, shit, what the fuck is the name of that song? God damn it. I've seen it enough time, because they play it pretty much every fucking Saturday. And every time I go, here we go again. At least I can look at the hot chick with the bangs.
Okay, yeah. I'll remember.
What the fuck is the name of that song? God damn it. What the fuck is the name of that shit? I used to speak French
80s,
too.
right?
I can't remember. Yeah. Thank you, Jeffy Art. I'm meeting up at my friend's pool party to kick off the 3-day weekend. Just wanted to say thank you both so much for the content. Stay awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for dropping by. You are also awesome. You have fun at that party. No Need for Me Too says, I'll always be grateful for a Guitar Hero introducing my kids to alternative forms of music. See, that's another thing. Like I said, yeah. Because sometimes I'm listening to that song, I'm like, oh my god, I know what she's saying because I took 4 years of French in high school.
Yeah. She's just talking about Moretto. When you laugh, when you smile, something or other.
Yeah. I don't know why that song pisses me off so much. It's just
She goes, boo.
It just pisses me off. I don't know why. Well, like I said, it's the same with like Obsession by Animotion. Even though it doesn't sound all that different to other songs that came out in the 80s, for some reason that one just like pisses me off, and I don't really know why. It just makes me angry. Like every time it comes on, I'm like, no. I'll put up with a lot of shit from the 80s, you know? But
she's talking to Moretto, whoever Moretto is. Let's see if I can...
One thing that I will complain about, and like I said, you know, we haven't gone in a while because it's far now, but,
yeah.
you know, Ibar/Barbarella, which, like I said, they're moving now. Actually, they're having a thing tonight, but I was kind of like, wait, do I really want to, like, get ready and go? Because we have to go Monday for Memento Mori, and it's so far, and I was like, I don't know if I want to pay for, like, 2 nights and 1 weekend.
Her name is Brigitte Lahaye.
Okay, that's right. She's super hot, though. I will give her that.
Yeah.
Super
Big bush, though.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not bothered by girl bush.
Dive in.
I'm just saying that's like it's a, you know.
Dive in.
If that's how you want to roll, I'm not going to complain about it. It's fine.
I think her name is Bridget. No, that's not her.
He's like, never mind, that's not her.
Hold on.
All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You find some like
all right.
some porn or some whatever.
Hold on. I'm gonna try to figure out who it is. I forgot what her name was.
I used to know. I feel like, but I don't know anymore.
I'm sitting here trying to figure out who it is. Not Lola Ferrari. No, I can't find it. I can't find it, people. Let's see what everybody's doing. Let me get back on the fucking show. Oh, yeah. Thrill Kill Cult. Yeah, they're good. Let's see. So he says that song is a nightmare. Maniac knows the name of that song. He goes, that song is a nightmare. What is the name of that fucking...
What the fuck is the name of that song? They play it like every fucking Saturday.
She's got a black fucking bob haircut. And she
back then she did, yeah.
Yeah, this is back in the 80s. And she's fucking dancing like that. And she's a fucking great vocalist. But I forgot what that girl's... Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, what the fuck is the name of that fucking song?
Yeah. What was
So I went in the bathroom, and my bathroom has 2 doors, right? Yeah. So I closed both doors, and then Pookie pops out of the closet.
Like, you were in the, she was,
you locked me in.
She was in the closet?
I guess she was in the closet. She, like, popped out. I don't know if she was hiding in my laundry basket. I don't know what the fuck she was doing. Yeah. Holy shit. Pookie's so weird. Danny rolling hair pie is rare pie. It is. I mean, you know. Bob Marley said, oh my god, Bob Marley's back from the dead. Black folks with rebel flags certainly confuses the Yankee tourist, blows their minds. I guess we were talking about, like, what we were talking about earlier, about, like, the Leonard Skinner connection. But, so I don't know why. Like I said, I like the video. That girl's super hot, or she was back in the 80s. I don't know what she looks like nowadays. But for whatever reason, that song just fucking rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. I know you do. So it's like every time it comes on, Tom's like, yay, and I'm just like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
And I'm always kind of like, why? And like I said, I'll put up with a lot. Although I will say that one thing that did kind of bother me a lot about Ibar/Barbarella was that Saturday nights are the best. That's the 80s new wave night. Usually better shit is played earlier. So you got to get there kind of early because, they'll play, because the more the night goes on, the more they're going to play, like, Pet Shop Boys, Erasure, stuff like that, which is fine, but not really, I don't know. Early on, they'll play stuff like Killing Joke or, the Cramps or something like that. Like, they'll play, like, some weirder shit because they know, like, some more people aren't there. But as time goes on, they'll kind of play more, like, quote-unquote popular stuff. It's like, we'll play Depeche Mode, we'll play, like, Enjoy the Silence, which, So it'll be like that. But
that was 1980s or was it 1990s?
I don't even remember.
It might have been 90s.
It might be. Adrian asks, do you guys like more Syphilitica? Honestly, I don't know that much about them. I remember, like, reading some articles about them in, like, fucking Gothic Beauty and shit like that, like, back in the 90s. But I think I have a couple of compilations that have their songs on it, and I remember them being very good. But, yeah. Ethereal stuff, I do kind of like that. Tom likes that probably more than I do. Yeah. You like that kind of ethereal goth kind of thing. I like that too, but I think you like it more than I do. I'm more of
I haven't heard it in a long time.
I'm more of like a post-punk, grungy kind of shit. Not grunge, but more of a post-punk kind of person. Ethereal shit's good too, though. I like a lot of... anyone dig Cocteau Twins?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, Cocteau Twins... I had that one album of theirs that was like a best of... Was it a best of? Or it was like a compilation. It had Pearly Dewdrops Drop on it. It had From the Flagstones. It had like all... And it was just like so good. Man, I listened to that so many times in the fucking 90s. Just over and over and over again. I think I wore it out. I had to like buy it again. So, yeah. I really like... Remember they got like kind of popular for a minute when Bluebell Knoll came out. Because they had that song Carolyn's Tears. Carolyn's Tears, was that the name of it? And, yeah, I think that was the name of it. And that was a great-ass song. I think that's another one that I have on my phone. But, yeah. What brand of tablet does Tom have?
It's a fucking LG. I think it's called a Galaxy something or other.
That's Samsung. Galaxy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You're asking, like... This is like boomer tech, man. This is fucking... I don't know what any of this shit is.
I don't know. It's magic.
I don't know. It's magic. That's what they sold me. That's what they sold me, man.
My phone's a Galaxy, but it's a Samsung. I'm pretty sure that's... LG and Samsung are two different companies. Yeah. Which I know because I did some advertising work for LG like a couple years ago. Those are two different companies.
I can't find the name of that fucking woman. It doesn't matter.
Carolyn's Fingers. There we go. That's the name of that song. Yeah, I was really into that song. Bluebell Knoll, that album was. I have that album. I have... What the fuck was the name of that? The Pink Opaque? Was that the name of that? I had it on cassette, actually. And I don't know if I have it anymore. But I mean, I have it in my iTunes, but I don't think I have the cassette anymore because I threw out a lot of my cassettes because they were all moldy.
Yeah, it's the Galaxy tab. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care about that shit, man.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. Let's see. Anyone remember the Leaving Trains? That name is familiar. I remember hearing maybe one song of theirs. So, I don't know. Let's see. What were we got on? Too bad we can't play music on the show. Yeah. I mean, we can. It's just it'll get demonetized.
Yeah.
Juan's talking about the Misfits. I'm actually kind of a big fan of the Misfits. I have a younger brother. He's 4 years younger. My younger brother, in the late 80s and early 90s, was like the world's biggest Misfits fan.
Did you see that $20 super chat that we had?
Where?
Jeffrey Art.
Yeah.
Okay.
Already been addressed.
Okay.
And he learned to play guitar from listening to the Misfits and also Bad Religion. Yeah. So he basically, my whole entire like older teenage years, because his bedroom was next to mine, like in the apartment. And so basically my whole entire teenage years, I was listening to like, you know, Joy Division and Alien Sex Fiend and Bauhaus and stuff. And then he's over there listening to like the Misfits and Bad Religion, which I like too. And so like be coming through the wall and him like practicing. But that's how he learned to play guitar, like Misfits and Bad Religion. And he was actually in a band that covered, they did their own original songs too, but they did like a lot of Misfits and Bad Religion covers as well. And they played around a lot in Daytona. And I think they played some shows in DeLand and Orlando too, if I'm not mistaken. I remember going to see them quite a bit. Like I said, he's 4 years younger. Yeah, Misfits, Astro Zombies. Got any sisters, Jenny? I do. I have a sister named Amanda. And she is 7 years younger. 7 years younger? Yeah. I was born in 72 and she was born in 79. I just saw her not too long ago. She came to Florida to go... She did a vacation at Disney, which she does usually every year. Normally her boyfriend comes, but he couldn't come this year, so she came by herself. So she stayed at like Disney and Universal or whatever for like a week. And then she came to Ocala to visit my mom, so I drove over there to Ocala to hang out with her and my mom one day. So me and my sister, it's funny because we're 7 years apart. And we didn't even really grow up together because my parents divorced when I was 14. And my youngest sister, my youngest brother, moved in with my mom. And me and my 4 years younger brother moved in with my dad. So we still saw our brother and sister, but not every day. But it's really weird because we're so like far apart in age. And from what I've heard of other people that have siblings, it's like, oh my God, we're so different. Me and all my brothers and my sister are almost exactly the same. Even though we're like super far apart in age. Even my youngest brother, who was born in fucking 1986, for Christ's sake, which to me seems very, very young. Honestly, yeah, we're very, very similar, which is fucking crazy.
What?
Me and my siblings are all very similar.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, is weird because we're really far apart in age. But for whatever reason, we got all the same genetics. We are all into, like, similar kinds of music. We're all kind of, like, punk rocker people.
Trying to get me to put the Danzig wig on. Okay, hold on. They're fetishizing.
Cheryl says, I think you're mistaken, Jenny. There's no way you're more than 35. Yeah, I wish I was no more than 35, but starting to get up there, man. Getting old. Honestly, sometimes I think about my siblings, and I remember them when they were kids, and I'm just kind of like, oh my God. Now my brother is in his 40s now, too, and I was just like, holy shit. I remember he was like a fucking teenager in a punk band. Holy crap. Crazy. Everybody gets old, though. You're making my shit go blurry.
Because my fucking magnetic personality make that shit go blurry.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The camera can't stand it?
No, of course not. It's a fucking
it.
magnetic field and shit. It's like Iron Man from fucking... The Iron Man as told you by Ozzy Osbourne. Where's my fucking hat?
I don't know. Well, your hat, I put it on the thing. There it is.
Yeah, okay.
I put it within reach because I knew you'd probably want it.
Okay. I put my fucking hat on.
They're talking about the Danzig movie. Are you talking about what the fuck was that movie called? What was that movie
I didn't
called?
see that shit. I wouldn't watch one of Danzig movies.
Veronica?
Veronica, that motherfucker's full of shit.
I kind of wanted to watch it, but then like I saw a bunch of reviews of it, and everybody's like, "Please don't bother. It's like the worst thing ever." And I was just kind of like, I was like, "Yeah, I could kind of see that. Well, Danzig, Glenn Danzig, he seems like one of those, maybe not to this degree, but he seems like one of those motherfuckers like Steven Seagal, where he seems like, you know what I mean? Where he seems
put Danzig and Steven Seagal in the same universe.
I said not to the same degree, to be fair. It's all a spectrum. Steven Seagal being at the one end of the spectrum, the extreme end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But it's in that more in that direction.
Yeah.
I'm just saying dudes that believe in their own hype to an extent that they don't really have any self-awareness about how lame they appear to other people.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel, I'm sorry, Danzig, I do like a lot of stuff, but I do kind of feel like he has a little bit of that. A little bit of that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That you're not really aware, because from what I heard, I haven't seen the movie. From what I heard about the movie, and I did read, I was curious, so I like read the synopsis of it, and I was like, that sounds like a 14-year-old boy trying to be edgy. To me. So I was like, should I watch that? At some point I should. Maybe I'll just put it on in the background while I'm doing something else so I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. But you know what I mean?
I'm thinking about Danzig, you know. Let's kind of be realistic with the shit.
Oh wait, we weren't red for a second. Okay, we're fine.
Yeah, because I'm having problems over here with this too. It's back on, right?
Yeah, it's back.
Okay.
Oh, no, maybe not.
Because you're talking bad about Danzig. You're talking bad about Danzig. You lose.
Danzig owns the internet.
Danzig owns the internet.
Well, we've solved the mystery. Juan says Danzig is the new Ed Wood. You know what? He very well might be.
Tina says, "Eye patch? No, he didn't. Of course I did. Fucking T. You were missing the game. You don't know. I've been fucking up in the game since you've been gone, and I have incorporated the fucking eye patch. This increases my sexual potency."
I mean, he has a whole thing.
Yeah, it increases my sexual potency.
I kind of feel like
I'm a fucking, I'm like a gay pirate now.
Do you know what you need?
What's that?
You need a 3-cornered hat with a feather in it.
Yeah.
You also need some tights, stockings.
Yeah.
And some buckled shoes. And some breeches.
No.
You do, though.
Okay, fuck all this. Let me get on. Jenny's trying to take me down another path.
I'm just saying.
She's going on into homosexual fantasies and shit. She's trying to get me to go down in a gay route. Fucking, I'm trying to stay focused on things, important things. Like Seagal and fucking and Glenn Danzig.
I'm trying to stay focused on important things like Steven
Let's
Seagal.
fucking talk about, to you, booty action is important and shit, but I'm going to have to fucking talk about Danzig. Okay. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Danzig, when he fucking, with the Misfits, he did a good job.
I love the Misfits.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that.
And when his first solo album came out, you know, fucking Danzig, it had Mother on it, had a bunch of, that whole album was really good. Twisted Cane. And that band progressively got better. I thought it got better all the way out till Danzig 5. And then I started to kind of check out. I was going off into other things and kind of forgetting about Danzig. He would say some crazy shit in the old media of the time and couldn't defend himself. I think the problem with Danzig is, if you ever see where he lived out in L.A. in this little fucking house. And he didn't change much over the years. So he didn't grow a whole lot.
That's kind of the problem I have with, like,
Right.
from what I could glean about the movie that he made.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was doing, like, what in the early 90s would have been considered, like, super edgy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nowadays everyone's just like,
You're right.
okay.
So I think what happened is he had his little... When he first appeared, the timing was right. He was real current. And he got caught in that rut. he did do a lot of cool shit. You know what I mean?
He did, yeah.
But
unlike Steven Seagal. I said it.
But he kind of got caught into too much into his own kind of formula. And
he vanished up his own asshole.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. A motherfucker crawling up inside his own asshole. Sure. He turned himself inside out, almost in a masturbatory fucking thing where he loves himself so much, he's now in his own universe. But on the outside world, things are progressing and moving past. So then every time he comes out with something new, it kind of feels like something old instead of something new. It's hard to be a Satanist in a world of it's hard to be
in a world where nobody thinks that's weird or edgy or anything.
Hard to be a Satanist in a world of atheists. But I understand it because...
The struggle.
Yeah. I understand it because, growing up, being born in 69, going through the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, most of the metal scene was actually, if you analyze the content of metal albums, all of metal depends upon a Christian viewpoint. Almost all of it.
Well, yeah, because their whole shtick is like subverting it.
Being the devil. The devil and the devil fucking doing things. And
it's like, we're the band that your mom doesn't want you to listen to.
And then magical, mystical mornings and fucking elves and shit and fucking hobbits.
John Cora says eviling ain't easy.
Yeah. What'd he say?
Eviling ain't easy.
Yeah,
right? Especially nowadays.
So... Just watch. T, let me explain some shit to you, T. Being a sister from another dimension, being adopted by the white folks through marriage. To understand the fucking old school heavy metal genre, you have to fucking go back to the craziness of the 70s and the prog rock movement and fucking Led Zeppelin and fucking Black Sabbath and all that shit and Dio and Rainbow and all that. The guy who captures it the best is actually fucking, what's his name, and from fucking Jack Black. Go fucking watch a Jack Black movie called Tenacious D. Okay? That actually explains it and takes it, it makes it funny. Alright? Jack Black understands exactly what it is. Old school metal is now a meme. It's a fucking meme.
Yeah.
Okay? You can put that in a box. It's now something in the past, and it was. You can't make that relevant anymore. You
right.
just can't.
Which, I mean, that's like everything from the old days. You can't.
When I listen to that shit, I go back in time.
Sure.
To that mindset of the time, with the exception of some of the bands, like that '70s metal album that I recommended to you from Judas Priest, fucking Sad Wings of Destiny. It is kind of its own thing. It's a little bit outside of time. Sin After Sin, the album that came out afterwards, is also kind of in its own class. But most metal was very dated, very much a product of its place and time. And it's Christian. Even if it's fucking talking about the devil and shit, in order for you to even talk about the devil, you have to have a Christian viewpoint.
Well, and like I said, I think the problem arises is that if your whole shtick is in shocking the normies, that's not going to age all that well because like 20, 30 years from now, the normies are going to like...
Those normies are gone.
Those normies are gone, or everyone's like consciousness has been expanded to a point where that's not shocking anymore, and now it just seems like you're a big fucking tryhard.
Yeah.
So
and metal was...
It's not going to hit the...
Metal was tryhard. Even though
I think that's kind of why I wasn't really into it.
Even though artists... Oh, shit. Is it red? Okay, no.
It went red.
Even masters at it. Like Ronnie James Dio.
Sure, a lot of that shit's great.
He was a genius.
It is very try-hard.
He could write some fucking badass, magical, mystical lyrics and take you to another universe. And he sounded like this big, powerful fucker. Ronnie James Dio was a little fucking like 5'3" dude who could fucking... little bitty skinny 5'3" guy who could fucking give us very fucking powerful performance. Everybody loved him. He died of cancer, poor Ronnie. He was in Black Sabbath and he was in Rainbow. He was in Black Sabbath. He was in his own band called. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that shit to pass. We got a red line. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Okay, it's green. It's back to green.
All right.
But Ronnie was he was a genius. But if you go back and listen to like, shit, it went red again.
Yeah. Why haven't had so much
I don't know
problem?
what
We
it's
didn't
just
usually.
happening.
I mean, we had this. We had this on Wednesday too.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever having this much problem over a couple of days. I thought they were just doing like freaking maintenance or some shit.
No. We'll see.
Come on.
It's coming. It looks like it might be trying to come back.
I don't know.
It's trying to reconnect.
It's trying hard.
What does it say about the data stream? I see the move.
Well, it hasn't disconnected, so
Okay.
that's something. But
Let me
if it
make
goes
sure.
to 0 for a certain amount of time, it will disconnect, and then it automatically
Right.
will try to reconnect.
Yeah.
But
Okay, I'm gonna put my shit.
I'm
on
going
data.
like fucking. Okay. It's going back. Okay.
Is it back? Yeah. Okay, it looks it's back. I went ahead and turned my shit way down.
Yeah, turn that shit way
Okay.
up.
Let's talk about Ronnie.
Ronnie James Dio.
Ronnie James Dio.
Sure.
He's kind of like the ultimate try-hard. When you listen to fucking Ronnie James, that motherfucker's kind of a meme, especially his lyrics. His whole thing was to try to transport you into another fucking world. And when you really analyze it, his world is basically kind of like the world of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it's like some Tolkien shit.
Yeah, it's like some Tolkien
It's like
shit.
it's nerdy.
It's kind of very nerdy.
Which in the 80s, that absolutely would have been considered nerdy.
Yeah. So that's the place where metal came from.
Yeah.
And when Iron Maiden appeared, at first it was just kind of most about serial killers, the first couple albums, and Edgar Allan Poe. But then when you had guys like Bruce Dickinson, when he got involved, he's taking it more to a classical background. He's going to teach you history and literature. So the next thing you know, well, actually he's singing it, but it's fucking Steve Harris doing all the writing. And that kind of aged. Now all of a sudden, fucking Iron Maiden becomes a history lesson and English lit. It's teaching you English literature and fucking. So this shit can kind of gel after a while, and it becomes kind of not cool after 2 or 3 albums. Danzig fucking got on to the damn Satan rock and roll thing. Now, there had other bands that were doing that. Venom and Slayer. Slayer was more of the serial killer stuff, but Venom was more purely Satanist.